welcome and good afternoon if you're on the East Coast, and good morning if you're on the West Coast. And this is the ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals. I'm Jordan Kent alongside Coney here. We'll be bringing you all of the action as 8 of the top players, and yes, you guessed it, US and Canada will be punching and stretching their way to the finals in this ARMS tournament. And Coney, you look at the skill level of these players, what are you most excited to see?
Honestly, there's so many excellent players here, and what I think I'm the most excited for is that we have 8 unique characters in this top 8. So it's not like you're going to see a ton of one character. You're going to see an excellent showcase of everything that the game has to offer. These guys are from all over the United States and Canada, just bringing their A game, just some of the best players we have in ARMS.
Obviously, any tournament or competition regards has rules, of course, that you have to follow. So let's take a look at the rules for the action today. It's a single elimination bracket, and all characters in all ARMS are allowed. So
Woo!
The book is completely open. You'll get a chance to see all of these characters in action, as we said. And then 99 seconds per round is the time limit. Games. Best 2 of 3 rounds determines a winner of a game. A match, finalists will play best 3 of 5 games against one another for each stage of the bracket. Once a player has won 3 games, the losing player is eliminated. That is what single elimination is. Let's take a look at the stages we'll be competing in today. And you take a look at these, Coney, and obviously these aren't just your standard run-of-the-mill stages. This is something that characters and players are going to have to consider as they continue to fight each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Each of these stages brings something different and unique to the table. It's not like it's just like a flat plane, something like Sparring Ring. You're going to see a huge range of, if you see somebody on Ribbon Ring, they're going to have to use the boxes that come up in a defensive manner or kind of change their strategy around, or something like DNA Lab, which has the pillars where people want to kind of maneuver around those. It's going to be an excellent showcase. I'm really excited to see how the players use these stages in their strategy.
Yeah, it's a very exciting aspect of ARMS as far as how the stages can really change your potential strategy. Now let's look at the bracket and see who will be facing off against each other. And here you have it, 8 of the top players in US and Canada, and we'll tell you a little bit more about each player as they get set for their match. But initially, as you look at it, is there anybody that we should really be keeping an eye on here early on?
Absolutely. So I've got 2 players I want to shout out specifically. So the first is Gore Magala. He's the first seed for this tournament, one of the best ARMS players in the world. Actually got 2nd place at EVO Japan 2018. The guy is a Helix master. He is the best Helix on the planet. He does stuff that nobody else can even touch. Guy is just absolutely incredible. Really excited to see him. The second person I want to shout out is Resolve. He's one of the best Springman players on the entire Earth. Guy is just absolutely incredible. We're going to see what he can do. He likes to go more of a traditional, Springman with double toaster strategy, so I want to see how he uses that.
Well, you mentioned Gore Magala. He will be participating in our very first match versus Pineapple. So let's go ahead and get that set up. And, what's interesting to me is I pick up this game, and obviously I'm not nearly at the level that these players are.
Not many are.
No,
Yeah.
But you look at the expert strategy. What makes these players so good, and what are some of the things that we should be seeing when it comes time for these matches?
They just have such an innate understanding of what of really the spacing differential between them and their opponent, and knowing how to create some distance, have their arms at the perfect length, be able to dodge their opponent's punches, and be able to bait them out.
Let's go ahead and get things started right here. Gore Magala going as Helix, as you said. Meanwhile, Pineapple going as Kid Cobra, and Pineapple going with the Cracker in the right arm as well, too, and then using one of the newer arms, the clapback in its left. Tell me about that clapback and how Kid Cobra, a.k.a. Pineapple, might be using that in this match. 60 seconds left in this one. Plenty of time. Gore Magala at about 50% health. Rush attack going at this moment. Meanwhile, Pineapple at 75% health still has that rush attack ready to go. Kid Cobra, Pineapple in the lead, but here comes that rush attack from Kid Cobra, chipping away, and right there, making quick work of Gore Magala. 46 seconds left in this one, and Kid Cobra using that clapback and the Cracker to go ahead and get this early victory in the first round. Now, Gore Magala, as Helix, going to go ahead and switch to 2 buffs this time around, and we've talked about this before. Sometimes you'll have characters use 2 of the same arm. Thoughts behind that?
down to is these arms are so versatile. You're able to aim them. As you can see him shooting through the crowd a little bit. He's able to dodge back and forth using Helix's mobility and movement. And he's able to take his shots as he needs them.
65 seconds left. Both players still have their rush attacks fully ready to go at any moment, so that'll certainly turn the tide. Kid Cobra, Pineapple the first one, and connects yet again. And you look at how important it is to connect with these rush attacks as Pineapple has Gormagala on the ropes. Pineapple, however, taking that rush attack from Gormagala. Gormagala trying to hang on with just 15% health.
Yeah, the problem is that he's in the corner a little bit. You see Pineapple trying to close that space, trying to keep him in that little pocket. And Kid Cobra is so good when he's kind of up in your face, especially with that clapback. Gormagala has to be very careful with how he throws his arms.
Gormagala able to get that buff around the clapback. Critical hit there on Pineapple. However, it could be just a couple more punches until Gormagala gets knocked out. But here comes the rush attack from Gormagala. Connects for 115 damage. Not enough to knock out Pineapple, though. Pineapple's Kid Cobra has 15 seconds left to either wait this one out or can try to go for the KO. 12 seconds left. Pineapple with that rush attack, and that will do it. Pineapple taking the first round, as far as the first game, against Gormagala. And what we saw from Pineapple was his ability to use the clapback and really stay behind that clapback at all times and really let that clapback absorb a lot of the punches from Gormagala.
Absolutely, yeah. Really, when the buff had such a hard time getting all the way around the clapback. It doesn't have such a wide curve, something like a Slap-A-Manda or Slam-A-Manda or something like that, or a Boomerang. So really, Gormagala had very few options in terms of going around. I honestly think the clapback was a strategic decision by Pineapple because Gormagala is known to use kind of two straight arms and then just using Helix's his ability to kind of use Helix's back and forth and be able to shoot the punches like that. I think the clapback was something that he was prepared for.
Yeah, we're getting really excited here. It's already early here on the West Coast, and we already can't just wait to see this next match here as well, too. Helix versus Kid Cobra once again. Helix as Gormagala going into this one. Pineapple going with Kid Cobra. However, not using the clapback this time as Gormagala going with two Fun Chucks. And the strategy, when you look at the Fun Chucks, they're going to operate differently depending on if your opponent is on the ground or in the air. Kid Cobra, a.k.a. Pineapple, however, using that cracker. And that cracker is going to cover a pretty wide surface area and give you a chance to connect with 1, 2, or 3 punches as you see sort of the streamers come out of that. 78 seconds left right now. Pineapple, Gormagala still sort of feeling each other out in Master Moment stage.
Yeah, and you can see why Gormagala wanted to go with the double nunchuck setup this time because, as I was saying before, the buff was not able to get around the clapback, but it looks like Pineapple has prepared himself as well. He's gotten rid of the clapback, and he's using a nunchuck of his own. I'm really, you can see kind of the levels upon levels happening here.
Pineapple connecting with the rush attack there, though, so both fighters essentially have 50% health, 50 seconds left in this one. However, Gormagala, nice 1-2 combo with those Fun Chucks, going to go ahead and knock back Kid Cobra. And then you've got Kid Cobra right now, and the mobility for Kid Cobra has been very vital in this match because you see the ability to dash multiple times is going to help you not only just avoid the punches, but not take any chip damage as well, too.
Absolutely. You can see that cracker coming out right there. Pineapple's got to land a few more hits. Gormagala is sitting on the rush. He's going to try to take out his last bit of health, but he might be able to hold on to it. No, he's going to let it rip. Throws it out right there, trying to break the arm. He is able to do it, but Pineapple still has a slither of health.
And Pineapple with a rush attack ready to go. Interesting to see if Pineapple is going to use that or not. Looks like Pineapple going to save it for that last round. And take me through the strategy of that. If you've got a rush attack ready to go, but you're only one punch away from getting KO'd, do you want to waste it at that point or save it for a great start to the next round?
Really, it depends. It depends on how the situation with the rounds are going. If it's last game, Pineapple starting this one off very strong, so he's opted to go for the free, 300 damage just right off the bat on Gormagala, and then now he's charging it back up. So he opts to use it right away. Sometimes you want to use it a little bit later. It really just depends on so many different factors.
And keep an eye on Gormagala's Helix. Helix, one of his special abilities, obviously, is the ability to stretch up in the air and move left and right. And that's very advanced right there, to be able to move and dodge like that while still aiming your arms. And Gormagala connecting with the throw that's going to do 150. Gormagala underneath 50% health, has a rush attack ready to go. But Kid Cobra, as you said, already has his rush attack all charged up.
Yeah, and you can see how aggressive Gormagala is being, despite Pineapple being in his face with a huge life lead. He is going to throw out those double nunchucks, only 60% damage. Nothing too crazy on that. Pineapple with a full rush of his own. He's trying to close his distance and force a mistake from Gormagala. Looks like he got it, and finally he will take that round.
Pineapple connecting yet again with the rush attack. And what I'm seeing early on in these couple of games between Gormagala and Pineapple is Pineapple's ability to really connect on every single rush attack, and that can clearly turn the tide of any match.
Absolutely. It really comes down to that. So many differentials can be made based on how good you are at landing that rush. And a lot of people just use it as a defensive mechanism. You know, as soon as somebody throws out a punch, you can kind of deflect it. But having a mastery of when to use that super is very, very strong.
Pineapple bringing the clap back into this one. The clap back and the Coolerang. So that ice attribute going to slow down Helix, maybe take away Helix's ability to dodge and move as quickly if you can connect with a charge. Burchuk.
Absolutely. You can see him kind of circling around, and see the middle of the stage has now been taken out, so you can't have a direct path to your opponent. I think this really benefits Gormagala, unless Pineapple can get right in his face as he activates the rush. That's 355 damage.
Pineapple once again connecting with a rush attack here. However, Gormagala with a fully charged rush attack and misses yet. However, going to get 260 damage. You'll take what you can get in this one, certainly. However, that clapback providing plenty of protection for Pineapple as Kid Cobra. 1-1 on the rounds. Whoever wins this round will win another pivotal game in the best 3 out of 5 in this match between Gormagala and Pineapple. 33 seconds left. Pineapple down to a couple more hits of life left. However, Gormagala still above 25%. 25 seconds left in this one. You mentioned now you've got Kid Cobra, Pineapple using the trampoline to his advantage in the middle.
Yeah, he's really trying to move up, try to force a mistake by Gormagala while still moving around and keeping himself mobile. Both these guys are trying to get their rush. It looks like Gormagala is going to have it. The chip damage is going to be enough, and he just barely takes it.
And we've talked about that before. Yes, you can block those rush attacks, but that chip damage can add up so much. And what we saw is Gormagala realized, listen, Pineapple doesn't have that much health, regardless of whether or not he blocks this. He's most likely going to get KO'd if I use that rush attack. And it seems like Gormagala's decision to go with the 2 Fun Chucks really allowed him the ability to take advantage and get some punches that landed on Kid Cobra that weren't normally in that first game.
Yeah, the fact that the Fun Chucks have a little bit more of an arc than something like the Biff, the initial arc is kind of like this. It's sort of like a parentheses. Meanwhile, the Biff can curve, but it's after it comes out a little bit, so it's able to maneuver around the clapback. Just excellent counterplay from Gormagala. I'm very interested to see what kind of arms these guys take to this next game.
Both are going with the same characters. Gormagala going to fiddle around, probably going to go with 2 Fun Chucks yet again. Pineapple going back to what worked the first time, though. The clapback and the cracker. And why is the cracker pair so well with that clapback?
Really, it's a question of how direct do you want to be? And Pineapple now has one of the most direct arms in the game in the cracker. It's so fast. When it's charged, it forces that hard knockdown. And meanwhile, he has the clapback for a more defensive playstyle. He's got Gormagala in the corner, forcing him to jump out. He didn't quite cover it like I thought he would, but he has the option for both super aggressive and very defensive play.
Gormagala already has Pineapple down to 50% health, 68 seconds left in this one. And you look at the fact that Helix, this is Helix's home stage right now. You've got the DNA tubes that you can dodge and duck around. You've got to protect this house. Gormagala with a fully charged rush meter at this point, but same thing with Pineapple. Who's going to go ahead and use it first and find that opening? Right now, Gormagala getting a couple attacks blocked. Oh, Gormagala dodges the rush attack, but then Kid Cobra able to dodge and get some damage back on Gormagala.
Yeah, that was so pivotal. Excellent use of the clapback on that. You saw Pineapple really get that block into the dash in. It really looked like Gormagala had his number, but Pineapple was able to get through. It looks like he might be able to take this round. All he needs to do is land one more, and he does.
That cracker connects with Gormagala. Going to go ahead and get the KO for Pineapple. Pineapple takes the first round in this third game. Both players already have one game in this best 3 of 5 matchup in our opening round of the ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals. Early on this one, though, Gormagala connecting with a couple of Fun Chucks, going to take about 20% damage off of Pineapple. Pineapple, though, trying to dodge and weave, use that DNA tube, moving left and right. 83 seconds left in this one, and using the DNA tubes and that clapback is going to give Pineapple a lot of defensive options here.
Definitely. It looks like he's more opting just to try to go in straight away. He's got the cracker, which will come out right away and really penetrate Gormagala's defense. You can see him breaking that tube right there, and now Gormagala sort of in the corner, doesn't have nowhere to go. He gets the rush right there. He's getting 340 damage out of that and a hard knockdown. Gormagala is on the ropes.
Pineapple's known for their sweet citrusy taste and connecting with rush attacks. If you picked up anything else from this match so far, 50 seconds left. Gormagala with the full rush meter, though, has to find that critical time. Gormagala is in danger of dropping another round, and that would be another game. Gormagala trying to connect, though, but no, once again, Pineapple, just like the thick, spiny outside, able to defend any attacks right there.
Beautiful work right there. Only getting 45 out of that rush. He finally breaks one of the final DNA tubes, and Gormagala has nowhere to run. He's so low.
25 seconds left. Gormagala down to about 10% health. It just takes a couple more connections on punches here for Pineapple to send Gormagala to the canvas. And just like that, Pineapple's going to take the second game in this best-of-5 matchup between Gormagala, who was second at EVO Japan. So you look at this might be potentially a huge upset in this tournament.
Yeah, this would be huge. I mean, right now, Pineapple up 2-1. All he needs is one more game, 2 more rounds, and he might be able to take it. Having the 8th seed defeat the 1st seed, especially in a single elimination tournament like this, would be absolutely huge and totally open up the rest of the bracket.
And what I continue to notice, it seems like this is just coming down to rush attacks. Gormagala not able to connect with his. Meanwhile, Pineapple seems to connect on literally every single rush attack. And you look at the difference between chip damage that might equate to about 50 damage versus connecting with the rush attack that is 250 to 350. That is turning the tide of all of these games that we've seen so far.
Yeah, really, having a mastery of when to use the rush and how to use the rush is so important. It looks like Pineapple is just getting the upper hand as we go back to DNA Lab for this potentially final game.
Another matchup in DNA Lab this time. Gormagala going to go with 2 buffs. Pineapple's Kid Cobra going to go with that clapback, tried and true, but then this time going with the Burchuck. And the difference with the Burchuck when you maybe had so much success with the Cracker is this maybe thinking, hey, I assume Gormagala is going to try and counter what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw another ingredient in this sauce.
I think so. I think that he sort of smelled out that the buff was coming out, and so he wanted to go for something that kind of curved a little bit. He still has the clapback, which is going to be an excellent answer to the buff. As we dance around on DNA Lab a little bit here, he is going to get the rush, and finally Gormagala landing that rush. That's what he needs.
Gormagala getting a critical landing on that rush right now, using just a couple of charged buffs right now against Pineapple. Kid Cobra has Pineapple at under 50% health, but Pineapple has the rush attack ready to go, and Pineapple connecting yet again with a rush attack. Unbelievable. This is how Pineapple's been able to get the upper hand in all of these games so far.
Yeah, he just keeps pushing Gormagala to the corner, getting his back on the wall, and then activating the rush, getting 300 to 350 damage. That's a third of your life. That's 30% of your life. That's insane.
30 seconds left. Gormagala has a rush attack ready to go. Can Gormagala connect with the rush attack? Yes. Needed that one like water in the desert, folks. 20 seconds left. Gormagala, Pineapple, they're both in the danger zone right now, so it's blinking red, and hang on tight because a couple more punches could prove a critical round victory for either one of these fighters in this best 3 out of 5. 8 seconds left. Everything's red on the screen. It's like a bad spelling test, folks. 4 seconds left. Gormagala trying to get one more hit, but no, the rush attack from Pineapple with 2 seconds left will give Pineapple another round. Pineapple 1 round away from taking this match from one of the highest ranked players coming into this tournament.
That was so important. The fact that he had a rush and Gormagala didn't meant that Gormagala knew that he was in dire straits, trying to get back to the corner, trying to wait out those last 2 seconds, but he was not able to execute. And right now, Pineapple is only 1 round away from defeating Seed 1.
Gormagala against the ropes needs this round. Meanwhile, Pineapple trying to get one of the biggest upsets already early on in this tournament. You've got, and it's the only matchup of this tournament, so it's going to be a big upset, of course. But then Gormagala connecting with that rush attack, and it seems like Gormagala has found his rhythm as far as connecting with those.
Definitely. He needs to. I mean, his back is to the ropes. The chips are down. He needs to figure out something right here as Pineapple switch back to the Cracker. There's so many levels happening here where these guys are trying to find their optimal arms combo.
Pineapple has a charged rush attack, so if you're Gormagala, you got to make sure you do not let Pineapple connect with that rush attack. You've got Pineapple really down to 1 more hit, and there Gormagala says, I ain't done yet. Gormagala, a convincing victory that round, 75% health left. And let's see if Gormagala's maybe learned a little bit about Pineapple and Pineapple strategies with that clapback and that Cracker. However, rush attacks charged for both players. You know on this deciding round, those are going to be pivotal.
Absolutely, yeah. I think when the chips are down, I mean, Gormagala, he's not the #1 seed for no reason. This guy knows how to take games. I think he's really got his rhythm back, took that last round in dominating fashion. The impetus is now on Pineapple to bring something new to the table. And if he's able to land this rush first, I think he's going to be in a great spot.
Both fighters hanging on to their rush, and Gormagala trying to connect, and yes, will connect for 225 damage. And it seems like Gormagala is doing a better job of keeping his distance, and Gormagala gets connected, though, by Pineapple's rush attack. Both fighters right around 75% health. However, Gormagala getting closer to 50. 55 seconds left here. Kid Cobra, controlled by Pineapple, looking for the early upset in this tournament. Gore Magala knows he has to connect on a couple critical punches here, keeping his distance yet again. Can't seem to hit with those biffs, though. And however, Kid Cobra using that clapback and just the defensive capabilities of Pineapple's. Pineapple has Gore Magala down to under 25% health.
He's so close here, and look at the rush meter. He's trying to build it up. He does have it first. He's going to let it rip. Gore Magala is so low, and Pineapple defeats Gore Magala.
How do you like that, folks? First round matchup in this ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals. We already have a shocker as Pineapple defeats Gore Magala. Gore Magala, as you said, second at EVO Japan. And what did we see there when you looked at really the whole body of work in this entire match?
Sure. I really think what it came down to was Pineapple was just really one step ahead of the game in terms of arms choice. You could see him always choosing the clapback when Gore Magala was going for the buff. Meanwhile, whenever he went for something else like nunchucks, funchucks, he would opt to go for something a little different. He either had the cracker, depending on if he was using a curved arm, or he would use something like the Burchuck if he was going for the straight arm. So it just seemed like Pineapple was always one step ahead. Not to mention, like you said, his usage of rush was just like perfect.
Yeah, and I think that was really what told the story of
Right.
that match between Pineapple and Gore Magala, was the fact that Pineapple was able to use that clapback so efficiently and then connect on those rush attacks. And it goes to show you why those are so critical. And Gore Magala, it goes to show you just how talented everybody is. For
Absolutely.
as accredited as Gore Magala is, to be ousted in the first round shows you this is a very deep and very talented field.
Oh, yeah, you can't sleep on anybody. Like, these 8 players, some of the best 8 players in the world, not just the U.S. and Canada. I mean, these guys are all centralized around here, but don't make no mistake. These guys can hold their own against anybody on the planet. It's unreal.
All right, let's get you set for our second match as we take an updated look at the brackets. Pineapple advancing to the next round. Meanwhile, our next matchup will be Resolve and Nobi. And as we look at Resolve versus Nobi, you've got a couple fighters here. Give us some notes here on Resolve and what we might be looking for.
Honestly, this was one of the matches I was most excited to look at. These guys, it's Springman versus Twintelle, 2 of the top characters in the game. And these guys have played each other so much. They're good friends. They've met at the finals of so many tournaments. And I think in a best 3 out of 5 setting, you're going to see the top level of play as these guys adapt to and kind of change their playstyle around their opponent.
And what to you makes ARMS so unique as a fighting game? Because obviously you look at all the different options that we see, and just with ARMS and the fact that you've had a chance to be so arms-on, sorry, I'll try to keep the puns to a minimum here. What is it about ARMS and as far as the strategy that goes into this that makes it so addicting?
Just having that almost first person, not quite first person, but kind of that third person, almost second person really with how close it is, dynamic of having that 3D space around your opponent, being able to bait out sort of defensive options from them, being able to curve your punches. It's almost sort of like a shooter in a way, in the way that you're aiming your punches. It's totally unique, unlike any other game. And then you bring in the arms customization on top of that, where you're able to cater those to your playstyle. There's just so much to learn, and there's such a depth and complexity of the game that's just unmatched.
Yeah, I love the chess match as far as the arms that the players choose. We saw so many switches in that early matchup as well, too. So let's get you to our second match here, Resolve versus Nobi. Resolve going to be going as Springman. Nobi, as you said, as Twintelle. And early on, Twintelle going with double chillas. Springman as Resolve. Let's just keep it basic and vanilla and go with the normal loadout. Let's go ahead and go with a toaster. And, of course, you're going to go with that Hydra on the right-hand side.
Yeah, of course. And you can see these guys actually using their character's default arms. These are not custom arms. These are just things that are sort of fit to their playstyle. And I think it speaks to, these characters were built with some of these arms in mind, which is how Twintelle is so strong with Double Chilla, which is how Resolve is so strong with his Tri-Bolt and the Toaster. As he has Nobi in the corner, he does have the rush on command, throws out the grab, and he lands it. He destroyed him.
Resolve with no issues whatsoever against Twintelle in that matchup, and you see right there the use of the Tri-Bolt and the Toaster able to keep Twintelle on the ropes.
Yeah, he just came out so strong on that, just kept him on, had about 90% of his health at the end of that game. Absolutely insane. Didn't even have to use his rush. So now we're starting off this game with double rush, both these guys trying to pick their shots very carefully.
86 seconds. We're just getting started in this one. Both fighters with their rush attack ready to go. Twintelle going to use that slowdown ability, of course, when any arms come in. That gives you a chance to really choose how you want to counter both fighters, as we said, with that rush attack. And what we saw from Resolve was the ability to keep Twintelle at bay and also apply some pressure when needed to and corner Twintelle. And right now you've got Twintelle trying to connect with the rush attack, and she does, as Nobi continues to get some major damage on Resolve.
Yeah, awesome stuff by Nobi. You can see Resolve only got about 20 damage from that rush, plus a little bit of chip, but Nobi using his correctly and was able to land a lot more. However, the life lead is still a little bit in Resolve's favor. After that punch, it's going back and forth, and you can see Nobi sort of seesawing it back. Excellent grab coming through there.
Nobi seeing Resolve try to guard and gets the throw to connect, and right now Nobi with the advantage on this one. 35 seconds left. Resolve down to about 30% health. Oh, but then nice little combo from Resolve, the couple hits and the throw, and then Nobi going to go with that rush attack. Resolve doing a fine job of blocking that. 25 seconds left. Both fighters right around 30-40% health, but a huge connection on the rush attack by Resolve. That's going to send Nobi into the danger zone at this point. Oh, and then the right hand charge tribal will send Twintelle to the canvas, and a one-game victory early already for Resolve.
Yeah, I was expecting to see something like a grab there coming out of Resolve, because it did seem like Nobi was, so pressured back. But, I mean, these guys are playing at an unmatched level. He obviously knew that Nobi would be prepared for that. Awesome stuff by Resolve, who takes that game really in dominating fashion, I would say.
Yeah, it was interesting with Resolve because at times he was keeping his space throughout the match, but when he was able to get up close to Twintelle, was able to apply so much pressure, and you saw some of those combos that led into the throws as well too. And that's what you notice from these high-level players, is that their timing with when they throw their arms out.
Yeah.
They know when to throw them out without leaving themselves too exposed.
Definitely, and that's one of the reasons that you see Springman take that tri-bolt. That tried and true, stun into the grab is guaranteed, so you're going to see that land every single time, as Resolve is opting for it once more. Here we are on Sky Arena.
No changes whatsoever in the arms for both players. Resolve still going with that toaster and that tri-ball. Meanwhile, Twintelle going with both Chillas here. And you've got Twintelle already down to 75% health, and Resolve keeping the higher ground in Sky Arena as well too.
Yeah, it's so important to stay in the middle of the stage at Sky Arena, just because if you're knocked off, you have to expend your jump to get back there. And as you can tell by Nobi, jumping is not something you really want to do. You can see him stay a lot more grounded, just because when you're in the air, your options are so limited.
Nobi had the higher ground for a moment here. Now both fighters in the middle part of this level here in Sky Arena. Nobi with a fully charged rush attack ready to go. Gets the throw on Resolve. Might not even have to dig into that rush attack. Resolve just one hit away from getting knocked out. Nobi doing a great job of countering back and coming back this round.
Yeah, but one of the scariest things about Springman is once he's below 15% health, all of his punches will be charged. Looks like Nobi won't even have to deal with that as he takes that game. Both of them standing outside the ring for that one.
And that's really a huge bonus to Nobi, to not have to use your rush attack to get the KO. Now you have it going into the next round. But of course, Resolve has his rush attack ready to go. And you see both fighters really just sort of dashing left and right, trying to get a feel for each other. Nobody being too aggressive right now. But here comes the rush attack. Nobi saw the opening and was so quick to get those arms out.
So one of the things that I want to see is how Nobi is going to charge up this next rush, because one of the dominating strategies against Springman is keep your rush, sit on it until you get him below maybe 30 health, and then you're able to pop it and just get past that comeback factor altogether. So I want to see how he's going to charge up on this one.
Nobi at under 50% health. Resolve's got Nobi pinned back right now. Nobi going with those double chillas, as we said. You've got the toaster and tri-bolt for Resolve at this point. 50 seconds left. Nobi down to about 30% health. Neither fighter able to connect with a couple punches here for the last 10 seconds. They're doing a great job of dodging and bobbing and weaving. You know that tri-bolt's going to have a wider area of a horizontal plane to connect with, but the charged Chilla going to go ahead and connect for Nobi, and the throw for Nobi. This will make things a little bit more interesting with 35 seconds left.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. Resolve was forced to block in that situation since he was hit by the charged Chilla, and Nobi just reading that situation perfectly, getting the grab as these guys are posturing right now, trying to get their rush out.
Resolve getting a couple of hits on Nobi. Nobi has no choice but to go to that rush attack. However, that does nothing at all, as Resolve sitting at about 40% health. Nobi at under 25%. Resolve right now might just wait this one out. 11 seconds left. Might not have enough time to get the KO, but you got to avoid getting some damage. Oh, critical throw from Nobi. Will it be enough, though? 3, 2, 1, and the rush attack from Resolve will get the KO with 1 second left. Hey, listen, style points, they don't really matter at all, but you might as well make that victory look good.
Definitely. Resolve really letting it rip on that one because he knew that it was so close in life lead, and it was just a coin toss. Whoever was going to land a little bit of chip damage or maybe even a full-on hit was going to take that round. Didn't even want to deal with it. But now he's at a bit of a disadvantage because Nobi does have that charged rush.
Nobi has the charged rush and the higher ground at this point. However, Resolve able to connect with that charged toaster to create some space and knock back Nobi. Nobi, that's not going to do anything as a rush attack. That's like getting tickled by a feather, folks. 76 seconds left in this one. Resolve at 75% health. Nobi still with a pretty full life bar and gets that throw. It's going to send Resolve to under 50% health. And this is a critical match for Nobi because if you can get this round, you're going to tie the games up 1-1 in the best of 5 games.
Definitely. You could see how this sort of seesaw in terms of the rush charging is playing out. Resolve needs to use his sooner rather than later because Nobi is getting one of his own. He does use it, but at an inopportune time as he's only going to get the chip damage out of that. Meanwhile, Nobi firing back isn't able to get anything out of it.
There's a couple of bad shooters here, unfortunately, with the rush attack. We've had some rush attacks not connect, but this throw will connect for Resolve, and now you've got the life basically at 40% each for each fighter. Resolve able to break up that throw attempt from Nobi. Nobi with double charged Chillas at this point, trying to slow things down. Resolve can't connect. Charged Chilla connects, and the throw for Nobi. Nice little combo right there. Resolve down to about 10% health. It's only going to be a couple more punches before Resolve gets KO'd. Can Resolve, with those charged arms and that ability, call it a comeback here? Oh, Resolve, unbelievable. And you see where the ability of Springman makes it so difficult to ice him out.
The guy's not named Resolve for nothing. He is able to slowly bring it back from the jaws of defeat against Nobi there. And you could see Nobi doing everything right. He got the grab and then he jumped back into the ring so he could have the higher ground. He had excellent presence of mind, but just that comeback factor, that comeback kid that Resolve is, just too strong.
Resolve emerging from the Lazarus pit to get the victory there. And obviously that makes it a 2-0 lead when it comes to the game. So now you're looking at Nobi. Nobi has to win the next 3 games in order to advance. Resolve, meanwhile, you just got to hit copy-paste basically at this point to move on to the next round.
Speaking of that, you can see these guys no change in their arms. We've got the Toaster Tri-Bolt again for Resolve. Meanwhile, you got the double Chilla coming out for Nobi on Twintelle. As these guys are on Ribbon Ring for this next game, I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out.
And you see Nobi doing such a great job of keeping those double Chillas charged and likes to go with the quick 1-2 combos. Meanwhile, Resolve doing a little bit more lateral dashing here to avoid those Chillas. And that's what's impressive about these players. Not only are they so good offensively, but they can play great defense while also getting those arms thrown out in quick succession.
Yeah, one of the things they talk about is that Springman actually has this deflect ability where if he charges as he comes out of a dash or as he finishes charging his punch, he'll get this little deflect shockwave that'll knock out any punches around him. So you really have to get in during your right moments. You have such a small window to get your punch in there without it getting knocked away.
Neither fighter able to connect on those rush attacks right there. 44 seconds left. Both fighters sitting at about 75% health. That is until Resolve connects with a nice little 1-2 combo. So health advantage right now for Resolve with 35 seconds left. You've got Twintelle just dancing in the middle of the ring with double Chillas, trying to connect with those. But no, another 1-2 punch leading to a throw. Critical combo by Resolve at that point.
There it is again, the charge Tri-Bolt into the grab. You can see him going for that a ton. And I was wondering if Nobi was going to be able to use the Ribbon Ring's defensive attributes a little bit more. As you can see those blocks come up, it really obstructs your view of your opponents. You can't see what they're doing. But Resolve, that Tri-Bolt serving him very well, is able to take out multiple blocks at one time. Nobi has nowhere to go.
And it seems to be that Tri-Bolt is the difference in this round right now, as it's really been able to connect and get some critical hits. And time out right there. Resolve gets the victory for that round due to the health advantage. So while no one gets knocked down to the canvas, Resolve able to outlast Nobi there. Resolve just needs this next round to advance to the semifinals of our ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals. Both fighters with a rush attack ready to go. You've got Nobi dancing in the middle right now with double Chillas. Resolve, meanwhile, really likes to use that combo with that toaster. Oh! Ooh. But both rush attacks engage. And it's going to be Nobi that gets the best of that one, sending Resolve back doing 200 damage.
And really what that came down to were arms choice. So if you look at their arms, Nobi has 2 medium arms in the Chilla and the Chilla. Meanwhile, Resolve has a medium and a light arm. And because of that, Nobi's rush prevailed, because when you use that rush, whoever has the most the heaviest arms is actually going to go through, and that's why Nobi was able to get more damage out of that.
Like a big brother, weight comes in handy in the battle of this matchup here. You've got Resolve under 50% health, Nobi under 50% health, so they're basically equal at this point. Remember, if Resolve wins this round, he'll go ahead and take the game and match between both these fighters and advance to the semifinals. Resolve with a rush attack ready to go. Nobi can't connect. Resolve is going to take a little chip damage right there. Resolve looking for that critical moment. Can he get the KO with his fully charged rush attack? Has Nobi down to 26% health. Does connect here. That's going to send Nobi to just one more kitten kiss before he gets knocked out. Nobi trying to do all that he can to stay alive in this tournament, but it looks like Resolve is going to keep Nobi pushed back. Nobi trying to, but no. And we said it was the one arm that probably made the difference in this matchup, the Tri-Bolt connecting for the critical KO.
Yeah, that Tri-Bolt was the MVA, let's say. Like, it was just absolutely incredible.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did. It's pretty good, right? It's pretty good.
I like that. It's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
And so you looked at that matchup, and once again, what we saw the first time around with Gora Magal in his match was the fact that you saw constant switching of arms in between each character. This time around, they stuck with their arms the entire time, and these are arms that were part of the basic default loadout arms for each of these characters.
Yeah.
The Chillas for Twintelle, and then, of course, the Toaster and the Tri-Bolt for Springman.
Yeah, really, I think what that speaks to is just having such versatility in terms of changing your playstyle depending on what you want to do. I mean, like, Resolve has been doing the same thing with Springman since the beginning of the game. All these new arms comes out, he's like, nah, I don't really need that. He has such solid fundamentals, he can just rock the Toaster and the Tri-Bolt and still make it work.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the updated bracket after our last match. Resolve advances on, so it'll be Resolve versus Pineapple in our first semifinal matchup when we get there. But before we take you there, we're going to get set for our third match, and that's going to be between Goof and Twin. And as we said, a lot of these fighters are very familiar with each other. What can you tell us about either Goof or Twin as we get set for match number 3?
Of course, so what we're going to see here is a Lollipop, who's a character you don't really see all that often. Kind of a little, I don't want to say goofy, but, you know, his name is Goof. But it's a little weird in terms of how this character functions. Looks like he's going up against Dr. Coil on this, actually the newest character, one of the latest characters we've seen in ARMS, just very unique.
Goof going as Dr. Coil right now, going to go ahead and go with the Toaster in the right arm and then the Hydra in the left arm. Meanwhile, Twin as Lollipop going to go with the Biffler and the Ice Dragon. And let's go ahead and talk about Goof going as Dr. Coil. You're always levitating, so that means the arms for anyone that's facing you is going to treat Dr. Coils if Dr. Coil's on the ground, so keep an eye out for that. But right now, Goof able to get the early rush attack going. Both fighters still with plenty of health.
Yeah, so speaking of being grounded, you can see Goof actually keeping his feet on the ground for most of this. He's levitating a little bit, but one of the most unique aspects of Dr. Coil is her ability to kind of sit in the air and just fly up there constantly. Looks like he doesn't think that's a good idea, and I think it's because of the Biffler, because it is such verticality, he's able to stuff him if he ever tries to go up there.
Goof with the Tri-Blast and Toaster right now as Dr. Coil able to get the early advantage in this one. However, Twin is Lollipop, full rush attack ready to go. Nice little 1-2 combo by the Biffler and Ice Dragon. That's going to go ahead and send Dr. Coil to the ground, but as we know, Dr. Coil, when she gets up, she'll be invisible for a moment.
Yeah, it gives her a chance to escape pressure, really get out of there. There's that rush combo, 325 plus the 20 damage off the grab right there. Goof has got to figure something out. I think he's going to hold on to this rush until the next game. I mean, he's only one hit away from losing this one.
Lollipop just needs to connect with one more punch. However, Goof trying to climb back into this one. 9 seconds left. Can Goof do enough damage? Oh, this is a big-time rush attack. Will that do it? Is there enough time or damage? Goof with the early advantage is coming down to one more punch. And no, Goof, unbelievable comeback in the closing seconds of this one, courtesy of that rush attack to take the first round away from Twin and Lollipop.
Yeah, you said it. Totally unbelievable. He's able to escape that game. It looked really rough for him, but he's able to take the round. And I think a big part of that is Spring Stadium. The stadium is so small. Twin has really nowhere to escape to with such a defensive fighter like Lollipop, and it's giving Goof a lot of pressure.
Dr. Coil and Goof able to get some early damage on Twin and Lollipop. Both fighters, though, at about 75% health. 75 seconds left in this one. That charge Biffler connecting is going to make it a little hard to see. Let's turn on the wipers and get that off your screen. Meanwhile, the throw going to be missed by Dr. Coil, but there comes that Biffler once again. And honestly, for players this good, how much does that charge attribute of blinding the screen affect you?
Not especially. Honestly, at this level, these guys know each other so well, and they know the game that they can kind of still be able to see a little bit through there. It's more of the ability of the Biffler to knock Dr. Coil out of the air. I think that's why Twin took it. But I mean, the Biffler, I mean, we could talk so much about high-level play and about how the blind doesn't really affect you, but in the moment, who can say?
Yeah, it's not convenient, let's be honest.
Let's say
Everybody
that,
wants a big bug on their windshield. Both fighters under 25% health. Rush attack ready to go for both of them. Goof trying to go ahead and take this round to take the first game in this best of 5. Goof, though, misses with the rush attack and then gets blocked by Lollipop and Twin, and Lollipop Twin, however, trying to find Dr. Coil. Twin's got a rush attack, might need to deploy it here soon if we want to hang on for the round victory. Oh, but that Ice Dragon just a little too slow. Coil and Goof trying to close this one out. Just need a couple more punches on Twin and Lollipop. Meanwhile, that'll do it right there. That charged toaster shutting the door, and then you comeback attempts for Twin and Lollipop, and the victory and the first game goes to Goof and Dr. Coil.
I really think that stage was just not beneficial to Twin. I think he's going to have to hope for something a little bit better on this one. I think Spring Stadium is just so small that Lollipop can't really get her defensive game going, and I think that really was what told the story of that game.
And you mentioned the defensive game for Lollipop, one of those characters that really, in the hands of someone that likes to be a little bit more patient and defensive, can make life really difficult for anyone going against them. But as you said, the small stage and the fact that the spring sends you back, that's going to make it difficult to keep your distance. So let's see if Lollipop goes with anything differently. No, Twin's going to go with that Biffler once again and that Ice Dragon. Meanwhile, Goof again going with the Tri-Blast and Toaster. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it here. Early advantage, though, in this one going to Goof, as Goof able to connect with a couple. However, that charged Ice Dragon by Twin can help slow things down.
Yeah, I really do think that this DNA Lab, this stage, this random stage that they picked, I think this is going to be a lot better for Twin in terms of the matchup. I think Goof won't be able to create as much pressure, stay right on him. You could see Twin kind of sitting back, trying to take his shots with the Biffler and the Ice Dragon, trying to slow things down. Both these guys have rush, but neither of them wanting to use it anytime soon.
You mentioned the difference in this stage. Twin is Lollipop already with an early advantage, has Goof to under 50% health. Meanwhile, Lollipop, plenty of candy left on that lollipop as we still have over 75% health. 50 seconds left in this one. Both fighters with their rush attack ready to go. Will be interesting to see if Lollipop deploys. It doesn't seem like she needs to. Meanwhile, Goof just trying to do all that he can. He might not even use his because he knows that it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, but this could get kind of scary because this is what happened in the first round of the last game, right? I mean, Goof was starting to come back very slowly, and he was able to execute the rush at the end to be able to take it. Looks like that's not the story this time, though.
Lollipop able to close it out with a charged Ice Dragon. First round goes to Twin. Let's go ahead and get the second round started here. As we said, you've got the Tri-Blast and the Toaster, and Goof with the early throw. That's going to do 150 damage. Both fighters with that rush attack, and Goof trying to close the gap and get a little bit closer and put some pressure on Lollipop as here comes the rush attack.
Yeah, he finally lets it rip, but that's the problem with the Tri-Blast. Just not great at rushing. They put on such horizontal pressure. They have the explosion attribute as well, so opponents can't block it as easily. But unfortunately, the rush is just not great on that move, as you can see from that rush right there.
Lollipop connects with the throw. Lollipop at about 50% health. Meanwhile, Goof healthy at 75% at this point. 60 seconds left. Although the Ice Dragon and the Biffler connecting for over 300 damage. That's going to go ahead and send Goof closer to a KO. Lollipop at about 50% health. Goof down to now 50%. Let's see if that charged third arm can appear and help Goof make another comeback. Goof does have a rush attack ready to go. Gets the throw. About 40% health for Lollipop. Lollipop inflating herself right now. But there's the connection with the rush attack, and the advantage goes to Goof with 35 seconds left.
And he throws out the grab. He knew that would be all he needed, but Twin just had that well scouted. The Biffler lands. These guys are both so low. They're playing this game. There's the rush. Twin trying to close this one out, but unfortunately it does not connect.
22 seconds left. Twin just needs to connect with one punch. Goof needs maybe two punches, but no, this throw from Goof will do it. And that makes it 1 round to 1 round as we get set for a deciding round 3. Goof looking to get his second game of this best of 5 matchup. Meanwhile, Twin trying to even things up. If he can get this round, it will make it 1-1 overall in this match. Go ahead and pick this one up. No change in arms yet either. You've got that Tri-Blast and Toaster for Goof, and you've got the Ice Dragon and the Biffler for Twin right now. And it seems like Twin seems to play much better when Twin can create some distance between himself and Goof.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why this stage was so beneficial for Twin, and why he was able to take that first round, just because being able to sit back and being able to use his arms at a distance is really good, especially for an arm like the Ice Dragon. Unfortunately, now Goof has sort of altered his playstyle. All of the pillars are gone. down, so Twin has to change his up as well.
And that's a huge change to this level, and another variable you have to be presented for, because now Lollipop, a defensive character, doesn't have as much protection to hide behind. That Ice Dragon connects, though. That's going to go ahead and put the freeze on Goof as Lollipop connects with the throw. Both fighters with the rush attack ready to go in this deciding round that could dictate the game here. And you've got Goof with a nice little throw as well, too. And what are you seeing as we see that third charged arm pop up momentarily?
Honestly, Goof is throwing out so many grabs here. I think he knows that Twin is trying to use that offensive block that Lola can do, where she can kind of move forward and move around even while blocking. Goof has had that red. It looks like Twin has altered his playstyle, but there's another one right there as Goof lands it. He has the rush. Twin does not. He's trying to get him in the corner, get him in a bad position. He finally does, but Twin is able to get that block up.
Twin able to avoid the rush attack. That's going to be some huge damage that you miss out on right there if you're Goof. However, 13 seconds left. Twin's going to have to pick things up here quickly, or else Goof might get the win due to default and time. Goof with over 50% health, and if you're Goof, you're looking pretty good right now, and that'll do it from Goof. That connection with that right toaster will go ahead and take the round and take the second game, as Goof leads 2-0 in our games over Lollipop and Twin at this point. So what we saw is Goof able to read the playstyle of Twin and make a quick adjustment.
Yeah, it really looked like Twin had some signs of life in that last one. Looked like he might be able to do it after that first round, but then Goof just, like you said, sort of reading the field, reading the situation, had his ear to the ground and said, all right, I know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take this next game.
And what's interesting is you saw Lollipop use that block, and then Goof able to read that block and throw out a lot more throws. If you're Lollipop, can you then maybe try to bait Dr. Coil into throwing out some more throws by showing block and then canceling out of that as fast as possible?
Yeah, and it looked like he was starting to do that a little bit. Goof was getting a little reckless with how many grabs he was throwing out, but unfortunately he had such a lead at that point that it didn't really make too much of a difference.
Well, Goof and Twin making it easy for us, staying with the same arms. It's going to be the Tri-Blast and the Toaster for Dr. Coil and Goof. Meanwhile, for Twin, it's the Ice Dragon and the Biffler. This time, though, we're in Misongo stage, and more pillars that can help Twin and Lollipop find some defensive cover.
Sure, the only issue is that it's still sort of a small stage comparatively. You can see Twin has his back to it, meanwhile Goof is still sort of in his face. It can be very long, but it's very narrow at the same time, and if Goof can sort of get the perpendicular angle on Twin, it's going to be very hard for him to get anything done.
Twin, though, a flawless round so far. Already has Goof to about 30% health. Meanwhile, Twin doesn't have a scratch on him yet. Lollipop throwing out the throw, although that throw gets canceled out by a nice, timely charged rush attack right there. However, it doesn't do much damage. Twin still at over 90% health. Goof down to 25% health. But there you see the third charged arm up here. Doesn't do any damage here. And then Twin, how about that? Just go ahead and make quick work of Goof. A near-perfect victory for Lollipop and Twin.
Yeah, he just totally flipped the script on him on that one. It looked like this might have been a rougher stage, but Twin making the right adjustments. I think that he's got his head in the right place. Some people, when you're down 2-0, sometimes you'll just sort of resign yourself, okay, it's over. But Twin, he's starting to fight back.
No change in arms for either character as we get set for a second round. Twin trying to win this game to make it 2-1 overall. Meanwhile, if Goof can climb back and take the next two rounds, Goof will advance to the semifinals. Early on, both fighters connect. Both fighters have a rush attack ready to go, so they're pretty balanced right now. Meanwhile, you've got Goof with 75% health at this point, trying to keep Lollipop on the ropes, although that rush attack gonna miss, and Lollipop still has a fully charged rush attack in her quiver, ready to go at any point.
Yeah, that might have just knocked the wind out of the sails as this rush is going to connect, getting 330 damage coming out from Twin right there. Goof getting knocked out of that rush was the absolute worst thing that could happen to him, as Twin is looking for another almost perfect game.
Twin getting things done right now, looking to try and connect with either that Biffler, and does, and there's the victory right there. And, we talk about a lot of variables that these fighters have to play with, and with this tournament, all of our fighters are back in the comfy confines of their own home right now. And with that, you're going to be online. And as you know, one of the aspects that you have with online play is some potential lag. And so we obviously credit the fighters for being able to hang in there, and you, our audience, for understanding that as well, too. And so you look at all the variables that these fighters have to overcome, and it just shows you how dynamic and capable they are.
Definitely. And just to let you guys know, we actually did run a connection test before the tournament. Everything came out great. These guys are no strangers to each other either. These guys invested in a LAN switch just to make sure that they'd be able to have the highest connection possible as we start out on the scrapyard stage for our potentially final game.
Right now, you've got 2-1 when it comes to games right now, as Goof trying to get one more game and advance to the semifinals. Meanwhile, Twin made quick work of that last game to make it 2-1. Right now, you've got no change in arms once again. The Biffler and Ice Dragon for Twin and Lollipop. You've got the Tri-Blast and Toaster for Goof and Dr. Coil. However, Twin right now using the distance and higher ground to Lollipop's advantage.
Yeah, really, that's what it's going to come down to, is how well Twin can do in terms of sort of sitting back, trying to force Goof to come to him. You can see him at that higher ground. That's such an important distinction, is that if you're on that higher ground, it forces your opponent to punch up at you, which can be much more difficult.
Goof connecting with the rush attack, courtesy of Dr. Coil. How about that prescription for you? Twin underneath 25% health at this point. Goof staying nice and healthy at 60%, 47 seconds left in this one. A couple more punches from Goof will send Twin to the floor with the KO. Goof trying to dodge around these pillars, trying to connect with that Tri-Blast. That Tri-Blast not doing any damage right there. That Ice Dragon missing right there. Right Toaster ready to go for Goof and Dr. Coil, and that will do it though. The Tri-Blast connecting with the left, and these players are so good at aiming their punches as well, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy feat to hit some of the best players in the world sort of dodging around these pillars, but Goof was able to make it to happen. And honestly, one of the biggest things to take away from that last match is Goof was able to get his rush back. Meanwhile, Twin was sitting on his forever.
That's so true, and Twin not able to connect with that rush attack right there, so that's going to bode very well for Goof, who has a rush attack hot and piping, ready to go. Misses with the throw, Lollipop dodging and left and right, missing with that Biffler right now. And Lollipop doing a good job of sticking to the higher ground, as we mentioned. Dr. Coil just hanging on to that rush attack, trying to use it. And there's the opening that you're looking for, and Dr. Coil is going to step in through that door with a fresh delivery of a rush attack.
And so one of the things that you're going to have to realize if you're Twin is that Goof, whenever he has a rush, he's throwing out a million grabs. And the reason he does it is because he knows he can instantly retract his arms with a rush. So if Twin throws out an arm trying to stop it, he's able to use that option select and totally blow him up. Meanwhile, Twin using a rush of his own, not really getting a lot out of it.
Twin trying to hang on for his tournament hopes. Meanwhile, Goof, if he can get the KO right here, will advance to the semifinals. A couple punches left for Twin. If Goof can connect on these, Goof will advance. However, nice little 1-2 combo by Twin, trying to stay alive. However, Goof has that rush attack ready to go. And here comes the rush attack from Goof. Is it going to be enough to get the KO? No. Goof trying to time that throw. Lollipop able to counter, and there's the throw. Not only will it get the KO, but Dr. Coil and Goof will go ahead and throw Twin out of this tournament and move on to the semifinals.
And you can see Twin just in desperation trying to get that rush up. He was so close. If he had it, he might have been able to clinch that one out, but just not letting it happen. You can see Dr. Coil just elated at this prospect as Goof is going to advance in the tournament.
And it seemed like Goof throughout this match really had a chance to learn the play style of Twin and Lollipop and understood, okay, I need to throw out a couple more throws because I see Lollipop blocking, and when I can get close to Lollipop, really try to put some pressure on, because Lollipop and Twin really wanted to stay at higher ground and keep their distance.
Yeah, it really just speaks to how important it was for Goof to be able to close that distance, trying to create that pressure with that Tri-Blast. And all those grabs throwing out, it seemed like it was almost like a novice strategy. You're just throwing out a billion grabs. You know they're going to get stuff, but Goof had a plan in mind, and he executed awesome stuff.
Once again, another match where they stuck with their same arms throughout the entire match, so you saw that there was a lot of consistency right there and some great matches. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket right now. Goof with a U advances. Is it Goof? We're just going to go with Goof.
It's just
right
extra
there.
goofy.
Just
That's
extra
what it
goofy
is.
right
Yeah.
there. Of course you'd spell your name Goofy. Goof advances to the semifinals, which brings us to our fourth match of the opening round, Sarosa versus Griff. And you look at the information on these fighters, what are we expecting to see here?
So Sarosa actually coming through, he does play a very strong Master Mummy. I want to see if that's what we're going to see here.
Heavyweights.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
There
He's got
it
it
is.
locked in. So the reason I wasn't sure is because he also plays Twintel, but Master Mummy, such a unique character, going to be awesome to see here.
Master Mummy and Sarosa going to go with the cracker in the left arm. And then meanwhile, you've got Griff that is, once again, going with one of the faster arms here, one of the newer ones, the Scully. Tell us about the Scully and that poison attribute and how that can come into play here.
Right, so the Scully is really what it's marketed as in terms of the ARMS universe is it's just so stripped down. So it's incredibly fast. It does have the poison tick. And I think we saw this earlier from one of our fighters using that Scully, so I'm really glad to see it here. You can see as Sir Rose's health is slowly ticked away. I believe that's going to get 12 damage off, but as you can see from Master Mummy, if he's able to block a little bit, he gets 10 health back. So really, it's no sweat off his back.
And Master Mummy going to use every opportunity to regenerate some of that health right there. However, that poison chipping away, and you see that poison ticker increases every time you connect with another charged poison shot.
Exactly, yeah.
Right now, 52 seconds left. Sarosa at about 60% health. Meanwhile, Griff at about 50% with Dr. Coil. And you've got Master Mummy that's really doing a fine job of bobbing and weaving despite his size and hitbox right now. Got a rush attack ready to go, and you know how dangerous that can be if Master Mummy can connect those throws as well, too.
Yes.
They're going to do 200 damage. So if you're Dr. Coil, you want to avoid those.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's going to be pretty well suited to avoid that just because his character can levitate and sort of move around in unpredictable ways. I think this can be hard for Mummy as he does land that grab right there. He's sitting on the rush as well. And also, Sir Rosa has a very bad positional disadvantage because he's outside of the ring.
Absolutely, and Griff able to take advantage of that with the critical throw. Sarosa down to about 20% health as we get down to the final 10 seconds, slowly trying to regenerate, but might not be enough with only 6 seconds left. One throw could do it. However, Sarosa looks like it's not going to be enough left in the tank as Dr. Coil and Griff going to go ahead and get the victory due to the health advantage as time goes down. First round on this one goes to Griff and Dr. Coil. And so we saw that strategy from Sarosa going with that cracker and then also trying to once again really keep Griff at bay using the larger size of what Master Mummy can do.
Right, and it looks like he's swapped out to the Bub on this one. I think he realized that the light arm of the Cracker was getting blown through in a lot of instances, and I think that's why he switched it up, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it's panning out too well for him as he's already below half health.
And you've already got Griff and Dr. Coil making quick work. That poison attribute just going to chip away, so really going to negate some of that blocking and regeneration ability of Master Mummy. Meanwhile, Griff and Dr. Coil just keeping their distance and just kind of poking away. And here comes the throw. However, that was baited in by Sarosa. Counters with the rush attack, but too much distance to make that call right there as Master Mummy is left to just sort of sit back and turtle and gain some health back. But the rush attack from Griff and Dr. Coil is going to really put Master Mummy in a difficult position.
Yeah, he's just outside of the ring. He gets grabbed. Griff going to end this one cleanly with about 90% health. Just very unfortunate. He didn't really execute on his Master Mummy strategy, and I think that was really more to Griff's ability to not let him do it. No grabs landed. He wasn't able to heal for that much. Just looked really rough for him out there.
And for Master Mummy, are you going to want to really play up close and pressure the opponent when you know how much damage you can take, the fact you aren't going to flinch from non-charged punches, or do you want to keep your distance so you have some breathing room to regenerate that health?
I really think that he's more of a defensive fighter because he does have that regenerative ability. I think if you're going to go for a heavyweight that's a little bit more aggressive and oppressive, I think you want to pick Max Brass just because he knocks you down and then he gets that huge charge where he's able to not flinch and he's able to get those grabs. I think Mummy is better played sort of sitting back, but as you saw right there, there's still ways to get through that defense.
As we saw Griff and Dr. Coil doing a fine job of keeping their distance. And how about our first character switch within a match? Sarosa going to switch to Mechanica. Some of the same properties as Master Mummy. Is one of the heavier characters, going to go with that Bub in the left arm and then going with the Hydra in the right. But how might Mechanica fare differently than Master Mummy versus Dr. Coil and Griff?
Well, Mechanica has the ability to levitate as well, so he's going to be able to get up in the air. He's not able to do it indefinitely like Dr. Coil is, but he is able to sort of match that. I'm more interested actually in this Hydra pickup because it does have such a vertical arc to it that it should be able to knock Griff out of the air if Sarosa uses it correctly, just like that.
And that's what we're seeing early on. Sarosa able to ground Dr. Coil with that Hydra and a couple of those charge connections as well, too. However, Dr. Coil sitting back and using that really fast Scully to kind of poke away at Sarosa and get that poison attribute, and then trying to then connect with that Ram on the left-hand side and go around the pillars.
And you could see Griff sort of sitting behind those pillars trying to make something happen. Sarosa doing it of his own. An excellent dodge right through that grab. You can punch through the grab, but if you're able to dodge out of it, you can get a much stronger punish.
And a nice little combination there by Griff and Dr. Coil, able to get the rush attack on Sarosa down to about 30% health, 35 seconds left in this one. Griff at about 45% health, so this one's closer than it looks. Griff able to connect with that charged Scully, though. It's going to do a little bit of damage and that chip damage. And right now, you've got Sarosa unable to connect, but this rush attack, oh, this might turn the tables, but no, both fighters basically equal at this point. 17 seconds left. Next couple of connections are going to be huge right now. Griff, Dr. Coil keeping their distance. Meanwhile, Mechanica, Sarosa missing with that Hydra, missing with that Bub as well, too. But the poison might be enough to tick away at Sarosa, and just like a little prick of the finger, unfortunately, that'll do it. Oh, no, Sarosa able to connect. Let's see what this one comes down to. Hold on. We got to wait after this replay's done.
Mechanica.
I think
Mechanica won it.
I think when you look at the body language of Mechanica
Oh,
after
yeah.
that victory. So how about that? Coming down to the wire, you had that almost ticking time bomb of the poison that might have grabbed Soroza, but Soroza able to get that last little punch.
Yeah, we definitely thought that poison was going to be enough to do it, but awesome stuff to Soroza, able to make it happen. Griff starting this one out with the rush. Soroza answering back. He's not going to get a big one, though, because the Hydra wasn't fully active, but still, 335, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Soroza at about 60% health. Griff and Dr. Coil at about 50%. 75 seconds left in this one. Plenty of time. Soroza trying to take this round and make it 1-1 as far as the games go in this matchup between these two in our final opening round matchup. 68 seconds left. However, Griff, Dr. Coil already to under 25% health. Soroza trying to keep Dr. Coil at bay right now, but Dr. Coil fighting back right now, gets that charge Ram to connect, but then here comes Soroza. Full rush meter ready to go. Dr. Coil unleashes the rush attack. Is that going to be enough? And yes, Dr. Coil with a critical rush attack right at the moment to turn the tables and steal this round.
That was just huge damage coming out from those arms right there. You could see he actually switched away from the skull. He wanted to go for more of a boomerang type arc. He didn't need anything so direct, and I think part of that is because Mechanica she doesn't flinch from those hits if they're uncharged. Looks like he's gone back to it this time, trying to switch up his strategy.
Mechanica swing and a miss there with the rush attack. That's going to just do a little bit of chip damage and a nice little 1-2 connection by Griff with that Scully and that Ram. You see the poison damage start to chip away at Soroza. Soroza, though, keeping things at bay, starting to get a couple connections on Griff, knocking Griff down, and already Griff at about 50% health. Soroza at 75%. We still have plenty of time left in this matchup. Griff, full rush meter, ready to go. Soroza, full rush meter, ready to go. Both of them deployed at the same time, but it's going to be Dr. Coil getting the advantage here, sending Soroza down, and the throw from Griff.
Yeah, Griff just got an and one on that one, is able to get so much damage from that. But honestly, it doesn't look that crazy in terms of the health differential. If Soroza can land maybe one more charge punch and then a grab, he should be just fine. As that one lands, that's 100 damage right there. Soroza not out of this by any means.
Griff gets the poison to connect with Soroza, though. Soroza trying to dodge and weave and avoid another connection with that Hydra. They're both down to about 25% health, but the difference could be Soroza with the rush attack ready to go.
He's got to
You
let
got
it
to use
go.
it at this point.
Yeah,
You got to let that bird fly. They both go at the same time, and it's Dr. Coil and Griff once again that win the head-to-head matchup of rush attacks, and that's going to allow Dr. Coil and Griff to steal the second game and make it 2-0. And you were saying it right there. You have to go with that rush attack before your opponent has one to counter you, and you could have really turned the tide of that match and maybe stolen one because you would have made it 1-1 in the game. Now you're down 2-0 in the games, having to win 3 straight to move to the next round.
I mean, he had to let it rip right away. He had to pull the trigger as soon as he had the opportunity because he hesitated a little bit because he wanted to wait for the right opportunity. Because of that, Griff was able to get a rush of his own and was able to fire back, and now he's up 2-0 as we start out on Ribbon Ring.
And really, that last round came down to Griff's ability with Dr. Coil to overmatch Soroza and Mechanica on both those rush attacks. That turned the tide of that one there. If Soroza can win, he'll stay alive. However, if Griff can get the victory in this game, he'll move on to the semifinals. And you look at no real change in the arms here either. However, you've got that Scully, which continues to not do a lot of damage, but it's that chip damage with the poison and just enough to keep Soroza and Mechanica occupied.
Yeah, it does add up over time. 12 damage doesn't sound like a lot, but that's basically, a tenth of a hit, and that stuff can add up very quickly as 245 coming out from that rush there.
And you look at the faster rush attack because of that Scully as well, too. You want to certainly connect with those, whether it's 245 or 300. That's a lot of damage, and you don't mind taking a bite that big. However, Soroza can't connect with the rush attack, and Mechanica, 50 seconds left. Mechanica and Soroza under 50% health. Soroza comfortably at about 65%, 45 seconds left in this one. And once again, just the chip damage that we're seeing from the poison attribute has really been beneficial to Griff.
Absolutely, and you could see he sort of went away from that arm in one round, went for the double boomerang, but it did not plan out for him. And as he gets this rush right there, Soroza with just a little bit of health, he's going to need a miracle to bring this one back.
Soroza really needs all the help that he can get right now. Griff is just going to take one little prick from the Scully, and that'll do it to go ahead and take this round. And Griff is now just one round away from advancing to the semifinals. And it seems like that Scully is really coming in handy to not only just keep some constant damage going against Soroza and Mechanica, but it helps Griff come in so much faster with those rush attacks as we see 2 Scullys now.
Oh, wow, so this is a total change for him. This is going to put him at, I think, quite a bit of a disadvantage in terms of the arms just because Soroza has the medium arm on the left. He does have the light arm on the right, but that's just going to cancel each other out. So he's putting, you can see it right there, both of his punches just getting deflected.
And that's what's difficult. Those Scullys are going to be fast, but they will not be able to penetrate that Bub or that Hydra either for Mechanica. And right now you see Sarosa making quick work and just laughing at the Scully. Sarosa with 75% health and Griff already down to about 15%. Those Scullys are quick, but they're not doing enough damage right now at this point. And just like that, Sarosa Mechanica gets the victory. I doubt we'll see those two Scullys again the next round.
No, I think that was an ill-advised decision. I mean, especially against Mechanica, you really have to charge up that punch to get any kind of leverage, because if you look at it, she's just going to shrug that off. She's not going to take anything. You have to get the hard knockdown, as he did right there.
Griff going with that Ram once again, and that's helping. Also in that rush attack, you're seeing that Ram going around the outside and able to connect to keep that rush attack damage going at that meantime. You've got Griff avoiding the rush attack from Sarosa.
Right now, Sarosa with no rush. Griff, same on his part. These guys trying to charge it up as best they can. That's why they're sort of sitting back and throwing out these arms. Griff's arm is a little damaged, but I don't think he's going to take too much from it. Unfortunately, he doesn't feel safe to block. He's going to take damage that way.
Griff needs one more round to advance to the semifinals. Sarosa, if he can take this round, he'll stay alive in our final opening round matchup. Here comes the rush attack from Sarosa. That connects against Griff. However, Griff still has the advantage and the rush attack right now, just looking for a moment to deploy it. Griff looking to try and advance to the semifinals right here. Mechanica and Sarosa trying to stay alive, but no! Here comes the throw, and all it's going to be is a rush attack and some chip damage away, standing between Griff and the semifinals. But no, huge connection by Sarosa to cancel out that rush attack. But once again, that Scully does what it does best. It just sort of pokes at you like your annoying little sibling until you finally get tired of it and you have to sit out.
Yeah, so incredibly fast on that. It did look like Sarosa had chances. He had a sign of life there as he was able to stuff that last rush. Like you said, I thought he was going to pop it right away and just get the chip damage, but he sort of waited for his opportunity. Unfortunately, it was not enough as Griff is going to advance.
And you point out a very good point of this, the fact that these were such balanced matches. Now, yes, you do get the 3-0 sweep for Griff right there, but I thought it was really in the second game where Sarosa was up, just needed one more round, had the rush attack ready to go. Griff didn't have his ready to go. You could have at least done a lot of chip damage, but you don't deploy the shoot in time, and unfortunately, it's a rough landing for Sarosa as he gets eliminated.
Yeah, just so unfortunate. When you're in the moment, sometimes you don't notice stuff like that. But good stuff to Griff. Good presence of mind as he throws out the arm, and he got the rush just off that one punch. He was able to make it happen. So he's going to advance. Sarosa, of course, you know, no shame in falling to a respectable player like that.
You also saw Griff try to go with those double Scullys, had no success, and wasn't going to try and force a square peg into a round hole, and says, I'm going to just go back to what's been worked with me. Let me go with that Ram and Scully and find some success. Let's take a look at our bracket now as we get set for the semifinals. Griff advances on. We'll take on Goof. But before we get to that matchup, we have our first semifinal matchup. It's Pineapple versus Resolve. And as you remember, Pineapple with essentially the biggest upset of this tournament over Gore Magala in the opening round. And Pineapple's Kid Cobra having a lot of success against that Helix. And it seems like that Kid Cobra really deployed that clapback and played a really strong defensive game where you never saw Gore Magala connect with a lot of rush attacks.
Yeah, and the clapback is going to be very important, I think, here against Resolve, as Resolve has already chosen the boomerang. The reason this is so important, he knows that the Tri-Bolt is not going to be able to penetrate past the clapback, so he doesn't even pick it. It looks like Pineapple was ready also, though, and he does not go with the clapback on his own. Instead, he has the Cracker and the boomerang.
You've got the Burchuck, of course, with Pineapple. There's a lot of nunchucks and arms. You're doing a great job with all this here. Resolve, meanwhile, with the Chakram and the Toaster. And right now, pretty evenly matched right now. Both fighters not able to connect on a lot of hits, and that goes to show you how good they are defensively. That Burchuck, of course, is going to operate differently if Kid Cobra is in the air or on the ground, so keep note of that. Meanwhile, Resolve has the rush attack ready to go, has a slight health advantage over Pineapple, but then both of them have their rush attacks ready to go. Resolve connecting with that rush attack, and once again, those boomerang attributes are huge because they're able to go on the outside and get that first hit going on that rush attack.
Yeah, and you can see right here, Resolve trying to put his back to the wall, trying to be defensive, but unfortunately it does not pan out. 310 damage as Pineapple has Resolve. His back is to the wall, but Resolve fires back, and now he's in the perfect position to be able to take this with these permanently charged arms.
And you've got Pineapple down on the canvas with one more hit. Will do it for whoever fighter can connect next right now. Pineapple and Kid Cobra missing with that Cracker, but the permanently charged arms of Resolve might be enough to tilt the scales in his favor at this point. Some chip damage from Pineapple. Resolve does have a rush attack ready to go. Do you deploy it, though? Here it comes, and yes. Now that's an example right there of where you realize how much health your opponent has and what advantage you have, and that was the fact that I got a rush attack, you ain't got one. What are you going to do about it?
Exactly, yeah. He didn't want to risk it because he knew that Pineapple was about to get a rush of his own. He just said, all right, let me use this. Let me get this game. I'm going to be at a disadvantage in the next one, but he needed that round.
Right. No game and round is guaranteed. So if you've got a chance for victory, you have to take advantage of it. Meanwhile, Resolve doing a fine job of defending against Pineapple. Pineapple going back to that clapback and cracker. Let's see how that combination will work. Meanwhile, Resolve does have that chakram, as you said, that can go around that clapback shield.
Got to see how he does here. We're in the middle of Mausoleum right here. Really surprised that the stage hasn't broken yet. Of course, when the middle of the stage breaks, you do get that trampoline aspect in there, as the clapback is just right in Resolve's face, forcing him to reconsider about throwing out that toaster.
Yeah, both fighters with a decent amount of health. However, Pineapple at about 90% Resolve. It's 60%, 55 seconds left in this one, so it'll be interesting to see if you can get the KO before time expires. Pineapple doing a great job of just staying behind that clapback, but no! Pineapple able to cancel out Resolve's rush attack, and now Pineapple has a charged rush attack. Resolve doing a great job of defending there as well, too, doing something that Gormagal couldn't do and avoid the rush attacks of Pineapple.
You can see him sort of taunting a little bit. I don't know if you saw that, but he was moving back and forth. But his arm was broken, and he was still able to get that rush out, and he didn't take much damage out of it. So I think Resolve is really feeling himself right now.
Very impressive, although Resolve's going to have to feel himself some more because he's down right now, 25% health, the Pineapple's 60%, and there's not a whole lot of ticks on the clock left at this moment. Resolve does have that rush attack ready to go. Might be interesting whether or not you see him deploy it, knowing that I'm down in health, I've only got 8 seconds, I might not be able to make this comeback.
Yeah, I think he's going to hold on to it for the next round. He knows that he has a round off. He doesn't think that he could get all that damage off. I think he's going to hold on to it until the next game. But unfortunately, that puts Pineapple in a great spot because he's able to charge up his own, knowing that he's got the round on lock.
And Pineapple playing a fine defensive game right there. No switching arms. Winner of this round will take the first game in our first semifinal matchup right now. Resolve with that charge rush attack. That's going to connect, and that'll do some critical damage against Pineapple, who's trying to play a more patient game and wait out the clock. Pineapple now going to have to be a little bit more aggressive with 85 seconds left on the clock, but that rush attack will certainly help with that aggression. But once again, Resolve doing a fine job of avoiding those rush attacks.
Yeah, Springman is one of the best equipped characters at not getting hit by moves like that, and of course Resolve, just so defensive in his own right, is able to deflect those out. There's no problem, and it honestly puts Pineapple in a very bad spot because that trampoline is in the middle, so Resolve is able to chase him down, sort of circle around him, and Pineapple has to use that trampoline to get out.
Yeah, see the circle scraping from Resolve right now as Pineapple sort of just bounces around in the middle. Pineapple underneath 50% health, Resolve with the health advantage at this point. However, 50 seconds left, plenty of time as Resolve gets that rush attack ready to go. And what you're seeing is Resolve using the trampoline to get the height advantage, maybe deploy that rush attack, but no, now it's pretty even at this point, 40 seconds. That's a critical hit for Pineapple because now Pineapple has the health advantage. You've got double charged arms for Resolve. Rush attack ready to go for both fighters. Who's going to deploy it in this deciding round to snag the first game? Pineapple bouncing around in the middle, trying to find his spots. Oh, double rush attack, but Resolve and Springman able to get it. 20 seconds left. Pineapple's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive right here. Resolve taking the hit from that cracker. That cracker once again coming out to try to get Resolve. Resolve connects with that charged left toaster, and that might be enough to do it. 6 seconds left. Looking for one more hit, but no! Pineapple connects with the cracker. 2 seconds left, and Pineapple, this is why you don't quit, kids. This is why you don't quit. You hang on and you persevere, you can get a victory just like that.
That was crazy. I thought that one was on lock. I thought it was over. I thought Resolve had it. I think that was kind of misplayed by Resolve. He didn't have to throw punches. You didn't have to do anything like that. You had such a life lead, and he just still threw him out trying to get that final hit. It was too honorable. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that was going to be my question to you, because you see that there's about 5 or 6 seconds left. You have the health advantage. What can you do as a player to not make yourself vulnerable to anything? And you kind of saw Resolve continue to be aggressive at that moment.
Really, you just had to block. I mean, if you throw out that block and punch away any grab attempts, if there are only a few seconds left, there's not much that Pineapple could have done, but Resolve, I think, just got caught up, unfortunately, in the moment as we start out on Spring Stadium, as this stage is going to be a lot closer and a lot more, CQC in terms of the fighting.
No changes in gear for either fighter. Pineapple continues to go with that clapback and cracker. Meanwhile, Resolve going to go with that left toaster and right chakram right now, as Resolve and Springman in his home stage trying to lock down the home turf and do it for the land. Meanwhile, Pineapple connecting with the throw right there. And don't forget, Kid Cobra and Pineapple has a pretty powerful throw at 175.
Yeah, one of the stronger throws in the game. Most throws are normalized around 150. You've got some, outliers like Master Mummy at 200. But yeah, 175 coming out from Kid Cobra, so he's going to be looking for those more often as Resolve does land the rush. He isn't able to get the critical last hit, and the reason that's important is if you can land that, usually the opponent will bounce off of the springs on the side, which gets you an extra 20 damage.
Very good point. Meanwhile, Resolve able to counter that throw, but here comes the rush attack from Pineapple, and once again, Resolve doing a great job of defending against Pineapple's rush attacks. Pineapple trying to throw out that clapback and connect with that cracker. Early health lead once again for Resolve. Can Resolve close the door this time? Yes, that left toaster going to go ahead and smack Kid Cobra in the face, send him to the canvas, and Resolve takes the first round in this second game in our first semifinal matchup. Did you follow me there? Are you with me there? All right, we're good. Here we go. Second round action right now. No change in arms once again, and it seems like both these fighters feel very comfortable about their play style and their current selection.
Yeah, I think that Resolve is much more comfortable with how he's playing right now. I think he's got a good groove going. He is going to get that rush right there at 350 damage plus the 20.
Wow, that's what you're talking about right there. That final critical hit of that rush attack sends Kid Cobra off the springs. We're able to connect with one more hit for 20 more damage, and that's going to give Resolve a huge advantage in the second round right now. Pineapple under 50% health. Resolve still at about 85% health as we have 65 seconds left. Kid Cobra going to have to play a little bit more aggressive despite the defensive arm of the clapback, but Resolve able to get around that shield, bobbing and weaving, and also using that chakram for some inside-out punches as well, too.
Yeah, and you can see Resolve was really doing great at the start of this, but Pineapple has started to swing it back. He does have the rush. He's going to let it rip. Resolve going to be content to just kind of sit back in the corner and not take any damage as Pineapple backs off on himself because he knows that the rush is coming. That's going to be 320 damage plus the 20. Now, an interesting thing is you can't fall to that. You can't get knocked out by that final hit.
Can't KO by that final hit. That means it's just one little tickle that's going to send Pineapple to the canvas at this point. But Resolve trying to hang in there. Got those permanently charged arms. That might be enough. But can Pineapple have an unbelievable comeback? But no. Resolve connects with that right charged chakram to make it 1-1 in our games as he takes the second round.
Yeah, just barely enough on that one. Pineapple, again, he looked so comfortable. He looked like he knew what was up. But unfortunately, Resolve was able to steal his defenses and was able to make it happen.
And that's what you saw from Resolve, the fact that both these fighters are so comfortable in their play styles. They aren't taking some major change if they lose a match and have a reactionatory response as far as, okay, I need to change my arms. I lost. I'm going to stick with what's been working with me. You see them going with the same characters. Will they go with the same arms once again? And hey, let's just rinse and repeat this and do this on Ribbon Girl stage now.
Yeah, I think that these guys know what got them to the dance. They're using this one all the way through. I don't know if we're going to see any crazy arms changes on this one. Maybe because of the stage difference here, but I think that Resolve is just so comfortable with that chakram. I don't think he's going to switch back to the Tri-Bolt just because of that clapback. It's just going to create too much pressure for him.
Resolve going with that chakram in the right, the toaster in the left. Meanwhile, Pineapple and Kid Cobra, just for those of you keeping your bookkeeping at this point, going with that clapback and that cracker in that right-hand side. 73 seconds left. Pineapple with about 60% health. Resolve at about 60% health. So you have a fairly even match. Neither fighter's got that rush attack engaged at the moment.
So right now on Ribbon Ring, these guys creating some distance. Resolve finally gets that rush as Pineapple's building up on his own. Resolve is just going to let him have it, knows that he can't force the issue. So he's just sort of sitting back, letting that clapback come out and trying to play around it.
Resolve and Pineapple each have a rush attack ready to go. It's just a matter of finding that opening to go in there and steal the cheese. And Resolve going to be the first one to take a bite, 310 damage. However, going to have to be defensive now as Pineapple. And this has been the difference for Resolve. The ability to defend against the rush attacks has helped Resolve last this long. Meanwhile, Kid Cobra and Pineapple are going to have to be very aggressive with 30 seconds left. Resolve just sort of keeping Kid Cobra at bay, using that chakram to go around that clapback. Nice connection right there. It's going to go ahead and knock Kid Cobra to the canvas. Left toaster going to miss. Right chakram going to miss. Goes through the punch. Right cracker going to go ahead and cause a little bit of damage, but Resolve with that left toaster and retains the rush attack.
Yeah, so many fists flying there. Wasn't sure who was going to land the hit, who was going to make something happen, but that charged toaster doing 130 damage plus the hard knockdown is just so viscerally powerful that he was able to get through that.
And that's when it's so fun to call this game, is when you've got those flurry of punches going back and forth. As Resolve, once again, connecting with the rush attack. And this is the theme we're seeing. Defend against the rush attack, connect with yours, and that's going to make the difference when you have two fighters that are so evenly matched.
Right now, Resolve sort of playing back a little bit, trying to find his right punches. Meanwhile, Pineapple having the rush. He's trying to force Resolve into the corner just so he can let it rip before Resolve gets a rush of his own, and he lets it happen. That's going to be a whole 320 damage off that.
Pineapple connecting with a rare rush attack against Resolve. You got to take those chances when you get them. Resolve missing with that left throw, but is able to counter the throw attempt from Pineapple. Pineapple at a distance right now, has the health disadvantage with 54 seconds left. Resolve, if Resolve can take this round, it'll be the second game in this best of 5 semifinal as we look for someone to be our first finalist. Resolve with that rush attack, that's going to do 310 damage, and that's going to leave Pineapple to just a few punches away from defeat. Resolve really playing this game masterfully as he's keeping Kid Cobra and Pineapple exactly where he wants to keep them at.
Yeah, definitely. He needs that charged toaster punch. That's really all he's going to need to put this one away. Pineapple, the impetus is on him to sort of be aggressive. He doesn't get that cracker hit, which does 130 damage as well. Does so much, but there it is, the charged toaster, and Resolve will take the third game. It is currently 2-1. Resolve is only one game away from going to the finals.
As you mentioned, that charged toaster, go ahead and pop it up, put some jam on that victory right now for Springman, because that's what we saw as far as the closer in the last couple of games for Springman was the ability of Resolve to connect with that. And it's almost like he's taking Kid Cobra and Pineapple out of his game, forcing Kid Cobra and Pineapple to play a little bit more offensive when you do have that clapback, which is more of a defensive arm.
Yeah, I think Pineapple's going to have to adjust, maybe try out different arms combinations. This clapback is clearly not working. I think that its usage was good earlier, but here, yep, as you can see right there, he's going to swap over to the bird chuck on that. We called it. We called it. Well done.
You got the bird chuck. Very nicely done. That's why we're here, folks. We go ahead and just predict the future for you. Sorry, I can't help you with your stocks, though. Pineapple right now going with that bird chuck and cracker. Can't connect on Resolve right there. Resolve has the early advantage in this one. Actually, both fighters pretty equal as we look at it. That cracker going to miss right there. Pineapple going to be a lot more aggressive offensively, you figure, using that bird chuck instead of the clapback.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to be. Resolve's defense has just been so strong. I think Pineapple's going to have to find a way to break through it. Hopefully with that bird chuck, he's able to find an answer as he blocks through that, but Resolve does have the rush. He's going to let it go. Unfortunately, Pineapple's not going to take any of it. He makes maybe 20, 30 damage, but that's nothing as he has a rush of his own.
Finally defended right there by Kid Cobra. And nice throw that's going to bounce Springman across the stage. That 170 damage, very critical.
So one thing that I want to talk about is the fact that Kid Cobra's throw is not conducive to the stage. So a lot of people, you can get the Yabuki, right? You can knock somebody into the springs, but unfortunately, Kid Cobra knocks you straight down. He says, I don't even need that. So you can't knock somebody into the rush. That's going to be something very important to see as Resolve has a rush of his own right now.
Resolve with those permanently charged arms just needs to connect with one more to go ahead and take this round. However, Kid Cobra and Pineapple, and it's going to be the rush attack from Resolve. And yet again, another option where I've got my rush attack. I can either hang on to this and maybe use it for the next round for advantage, but I've got this round in front of me. Let me use it while my opponent doesn't have it.
Yeah, and I think he wanted to let it go because the cracker does so much damage. When it's charged, it does 130, and he knew that if he took that hit, it might have been the end for him. So I think that was a really smart usage on his part.
Resolve one round away from advancing to the finals of our ARMS U.S. and Canada Online Open Finals. Pineapple, however, trying to even things up and get us to a fifth and final game in this matchup. Right now, Pineapple keeping its distance. Resolve with the slight health lead, and that's going to help right there. The Yabuki, as we mentioned right there, throwing him off the springs, getting the hit. But how about that? The jump into the rush attack that's going to go ahead and send Springman off the springs and do that extra 20 damage for Pineapple.
Yeah, and Resolve getting an answer of his own. He's not able to get the throw into it, but he is going to get the punches into the 310 plus the 20, 330 damage. Pineapple is in dire straits. He's at less than 25% health as Resolve inches his way closer and closer to finals.
Resolve just needs a couple more punches to connect. Will that toaster take him to the finals, or will it be the Shack Room that connects? Meanwhile, Pineapple trying to stay alive. Resolve just needs one more hit to get to the finals here. Is it going to do it? And once again, that left toaster connects. Resolve says, no thanks, no pineapple on my pizza. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite out of the finals here.
Guy's got a crazy left hook, as you can see from that charged toaster, 130 damage. We saw it close out so many games. Pineapple just was not ready for it as Resolve burns his path right to the finals.
And you saw Pineapple change arms because he wasn't having success with that clapback, being on the wrong end of the health advantage and having to play a little bit more offensive with that clapback. Decides to go with the bird chuck. However, you look at what we were able to see from Springman, from Resolve, and able to just stay consistently applying that pressure and also avoiding a lot of the rush attacks that Pineapple used to get victory in the opening round.
Yeah, it looked like Pineapple in the early rounds really had an answer for it. It looked like he was doing great, but unfortunately, Resolve just was able to steal his defenses, was able to answer back, landed more rushes, and I think that's what it really came down to.
Let's take a look at our bracket as we have our first finalist. Resolve makes his way to the finals. He'll be taking on the winner of Goof and Griff. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get you set for our second and final semifinal matchup of this ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals, as Goof will be taking on Griff. And, you know, really, once again, going back to some of the strategy we're seeing, these fighters are so evenly matched up. It's coming down to those little things like avoiding rush attacks, getting your rush attacks to connect. We're not seeing a lot of changes in ARMS as well, too. And so you look at these semifinal matchups, what do you think is going to be the key for some of these fighters?
Really, I think it's going to come down to character choice, as we see Mechanica coming out from Goof right here. If you remember, Goof actually used Dr. Coil earlier, so I was expecting to see 2 Dr. Coils, but Goof, his bread and butter is Mechanica initially, so he's going to have better perspective on how to deal with this Dr. Coil.
Which is interesting because Griff defeated a Mechanica to get to the semifinals as well, too. So Griff already with a little bit of a warm-up against high-level Mechanica players, but Mechanica right now going to go ahead and just keep her space with that bub, and also going in the in the left hand, going to go with that Tri-Blast. For Griff, well, you know what worked before. You've got that combination of the bub and the Scully, so going head-to-head with a couple of heavy arms as well, too. And here comes the rush attack from Goof. That's going to connect and do some major damage on Griff.
Yeah, and if you saw in the middle of that, Griff actually had the chance to stuff that rush and to get it out of there, but because Mechanica is able to just kind of sit there and not flinch on punches, Griff was not able to get out of that. Looks like he's doing okay, though. He still has so much health left. Meanwhile, Goof is going to have to fight back super hard to make this happen.
43 seconds left, and you've got Goof that's just one hit away, and that'll do it right there, as Griff and Dr. Coil going to go ahead and dispose of Mechanica in that first round. And you've got right now Griff with the first round victory. Needs to get one more round to take the first game in the semifinal matchup. Mechanica, no arm changes right there. Going to go ahead and stick with that bub, and then also with that Tri-Blast in left arm. And both fighters with the rush attack ready to go. But here goes Mechanica, able to not get affected by that uncharged arm and able to power through with her rush attack.
Yeah, and that's why Mechanica has such a place at high-level play, because she's able to force you to kind of rewire your brain and how you're going to fight these characters, because it's not like you could just, knock out her punch and stuff her. She's going to always be able to take those hits, not flinch, and just be just fine.
And it's interesting because with Mechanica, you get the attributes of a heavyweight character that's not going to flinch, but then also the mobility with that hovering. So It is a nice little 1-2 combo as Mechanica, with her second rush attack of the same round, not able to connect right there, as Dr. Coil really kind of took the best initial punch of Goof and able to stay pretty much even in this match so far. You've got 45 seconds left. Here comes Dr. Coil and Griff with that charge rush attack, though, and that's going to send Goof to the canvas. Health advantage for Griff with 38 seconds left here.
So much damage out of that rush. Just the fact that Griff was able to connect his. Meanwhile, Goof was not. Goof with his third rush, getting so much meter, but unfortunately it's just not enough. Nothing's happening.
Doesn't do you a whole lot of good if you're pouring a whole lot of water and you're missing the glass here, folks. And then you've got Griff. That's down to about 25% health. Goof with about 15%. Goof misses with that throw. Griff able to power through. Griff connecting with that charged Scully. That's going to tick away some damage. It's going to take just one more little poke from Griff. Can Griff get it? This rush attack will certainly do it. And there we go. Yet another example of I've got my rush attack. I've got a decent lead. However, I've got my opponent on the ropes. Let me just finish this thing and guarantee the round.
Yeah, and really, he had no reason not to. He already had a round, and if you noticed, Goof actually almost had a rush of his own. He was getting so close, and Griff was like, no, I'm not going to let you have that. We're closing this one out, and he takes that first game.
Yeah, put on the brakes here, playa. And so you get the first game victory right there going to Griff. Griff needs to get 2 more games to advance to a second and final spot in the finals, and it'll be interesting to see if you see Goof go back with that Mechanica or if Goof changes things up as well, too.
I mean, if we see double Dr. Coil, which it looks like we are, this is going to be so interesting how these guys are going to levitate around each other. What arms are they going to pick? We see the Scully and the Bub come, or I'm sorry, is that the Bub? I'm trying to look at it.
You're looking. You got a Tri-Bolt. You got the Bub as well too,
and
these characters are moving so quickly as well too. And both characters levitating. That means less work for the janitor. Won't have to bring that mop in after this one. But you got 80 seconds left early on in this one. Goof is your Dr. Coil on the right. Griff is your Dr. Coil on the left, so try to keep sorts of that right there.
Good luck.
Goof with that rush attack ready to go, and Goof missing with that is Dr. Coil doing a great job of avoiding that rush attack, taking very little chip damage. Meanwhile, Griff with that Bub and also going to stick with that Scully that kind of just pokes away at you. Goof, meanwhile, that Toaster and Tri-Blast trying to just make some quick work of Griff. Griff with that charge rush attack, that's going to go ahead and get deployed, but Goof once again avoiding the damage.
Yeah, I think that really that Tri-Blast is going to serve Goof well on this stage. Well, actually, now that I think about it, maybe not, because my thought was he can knock out the blocks from Ribbon Ring with that horizontal arm, but it looks like both these guys are just floating above the city anyway, so that's not really too much of a concern for them.
And you have the horizontal plane that the Tri-Blast covers, but however, it seems like Griff is doing a great job of avoiding left and right and not having to take that much damage. As you see right there, that third arm does create a lot more coverage if you do get that third arm to charge to be a Tri-Blast.
Definitely. Griff has the rush on deck. Goof trying to build one of his own, but he has to be very careful. Both rushes are online. Goof is just going to kind of sit on his, try to force Griff to use his own. He gets the grab, but it's still not enough.
Can Griff connect with the rush attack and get the damage here before the match is over? However, no. Griff is just going to have to sit back and lose this one to time as Goof is able to outlast Griff with just a little bit more health as both the doctors go back to their corners, reconsider their options, and get set here. Let's see if Griff is going to change things up. And yes, Griff going to go with that Bub in the right and the Chakram in the left. Going to try and go around the outside of what Goof's doing, and Goof sticking with that Tri-Blast and Toaster as always.
Yeah, very unfortunate, was not able to land that rush right there. Goof having about half of a rush of his own, so he's going to be able to be in a very comfortable position here as Griff, really, he's got to close this distance and force something.
You've got Goof right now with that charged rush attack ready to go. Griff, meanwhile, trying to get some hits on the outside with that Chakram, gets knocked down to the floor, and Goof with the early health lead and the rush attack ready to go. But Griff trying to charge that meter as well, too. Goof just picking and choosing his spots right now at this point. Misses with the throw, but there comes that rush attack. That's not going to do much damage at all, only 15, and that's nothing in this game here. Meanwhile, Griff has a charged rush attack, just looking for the right chance to deploy it, and here it comes, and yes, connecting with that Chakram and the Bub, that's going to do 305 damage.
Yeah, that was just what he needed, being able to land the rush while blocking one of his own. I think this game is going to come down to the final rush, as Goof is very close to having his own. Griff has got to charge up something on his end. Goof does have the round advantage, so Goof has all the chips on his table. He's going to let it go right away just to make sure Griff can't get one of his own, but unfortunately it does not connect.
Goof misses. Griff now with the health advantage, and Griff, mind you, has the one-game lead, and Goof can get this round. Goof will go ahead and tie things up in the match, but now Goof has the health advantage. 16 seconds left. Griff trying to avoid getting KO'd and losing a game to Goof. Goof trying to even things up. Goof misses with the 1-2. Griff dodging around those blocks right now. Griff needs to figure out a solution here quickly. Misses with the throw. Goof has the rush attack ready to go, and that's what we talked about, trying to use it. Doesn't connect, but doesn't need to, because Goof, with the health advantage over the Griff, takes that second round and takes the game.
Yeah, like you said, he just didn't need to hit anything else. He had a health advantage. He just let the rush go because, hey, if I hit something, I win. If I don't hit anything, I still win. So that's all he had to do. Awesome stuff by Goof as we go to 1-1 in this game. And I think the Dr. Coil choice was really what won him that one.
I think so, too. What was interesting is Goof misses with the rush attack. Griff has an opening, but doesn't have a rush attack of his own. If he did have one, probably could have turned the tables right there.
Yeah, definitely. And you could see him. He tried to get in a grab because a grab is going to do the most damage that you can do in that situation. So he tried to throw it out, but unfortunately got stuffed by one of the rush punches as we end up on DNA Lab for this next game. Very big stage here.
Double Bubs here for Griff. Meanwhile, you've got Goof that's going to go with that Tri-Blast and that Toaster yet again. Led Goof to victory in that second match. Let's go ahead and give it another shot here. You've got those DNA tubes. You're going to have to use those to your advantage defensively, and that's what these fighters are doing early on.
And you can see these guys, no pretenses in terms of trying to break the tubes, trying to play more defensive. No, these guys are out in the open, straight ahead. Looks like Goof is going to take a second back in the corner, try to collect himself as Griff is dancing around these tubes now, finally making use of them.
Both fighters with a charge rush attack ready to go. It's going to be Goof that unleashes the first one. Doesn't connect, though, as Griff laughs that one off. Griff right now with the health disadvantage, as Goof has about 75%, Griff at 50%, but Griff does have that rush meter ready to go and punches through the DNA glass and doesn't mind making a mess as he does 320 damage on Goof. Goof still with the slight lead, 44 seconds left in this one. not able to connect with that charge punch right there. Missing with those charges as well, too. But here comes Goof. Goof trying to throw that toaster and that Tri-Blast, not able to connect, but gets that rush attack ready to go. It's going to be a timely rush attack if Goof wants to take this round. However, Griff does a great job of blocking that in the corner, and now Griff, here's his opportunity to turn the tables with his own rush attack.
Yeah, Griff has just got all the opportunities in his pocket right now. He has the rush, but I think he's going to sit on it because he knows that all he needs to do is land one more punch. The problem is that any time that he isn't getting this punch, Goof is building up rush of his own. So I don't think he's too worried about it. Yeah, we got 5 seconds left.
4 seconds left. Can Griff either get a punch, and that'll do it right there. Just that poke from the Bub is going to be enough to get the damage done, and that's going to go ahead and drop Dr. Coil, a.k.a. Goof, to the ground, and Griff now has that full rush meter ready to go in the second round.
So right now he's got the rush. Goof trying to build up one of his own. He's going to let it go right away, but unfortunately gets knocked out of it, only gets 30 damage out of that rush. Meanwhile, Goof has got one of his own, and you can see Griff immediately fall back and try to bait something out.
As we mentioned, it's the roasters for Griff, I should say. A Griff with the double roasters right now, and that's going to create some more damage for him. Goof, meanwhile, with that toaster and that Tri-Blast on the left arm, creating some damage right now, missing right there. So both fighters doing a great job of dodging. However, Griff with a couple key connections at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Those roasters so strong, doing 140 damage when charged. As you can see right there, that's almost 15% of your life for each hit. And it forces a knockdown, which puts your opponent in a very bad position.
Griff with the rush attack deployed. However, Goof is going to go invisible and dodge part of that. 50 seconds left. 1-1 on the games in this round. Meanwhile, Griff, if he can get this round, that'll take a second pivotal game. Griff does have the advantage right now, but Goof connects with the rush attack, and that'll even things out here with 36 seconds left. Griff trying to do all that he can to hang on, knocks Goof back, though. That's a critical charge connection right there. You see the third arm coming out, and another charge connection on Goof. Griff needs just a couple more hits, and that'll do it. That charged roaster, as we said, 140 damage. Going to go ahead and take the second round and the second game in this matchup as we get set to try and find a finalist here soon.
And you know, we were talking about Resolve earlier with his charged toaster and how much damage that does and how strong it was, but the charged roaster just equally as strong, actually a little bit stronger, but you could see Griff using it there to great effect against Goof, who's going to have to recollect himself and try to figure something else out. It did look like the character swap helped him out in that second game, but he's got to figure something else out now for this potentially last one.
It really does, because it just seems like Griff is able to connect with a couple more charged punches, and as we said, that roaster was doing 140 damage. It worked so well last time. Griff not going to change things up. Double roasters once again. Now, Goof going to maybe copy suit and go with a roaster on his own in the right arm, and then a Tri-Blast in the left. So slight variance right there.
Yeah, definitely could see him switching up the arm, maybe seeing something that Griff is doing that he wants to copy a little bit, but he's sticking to that tried and true Tri-Blast that got him here. He loves using that. He likes the shield pressure that it puts up, forcing the opponent to block for an extra second. As he lets this rush go, he's going to get a full combo out of that, 300 damage.
Griff, the early deficit to Goof, as Goof is able to connect with that critical rush attack right now, but here comes Griff, got a rush attack of his own to go, 63 seconds left. Nice connection with that charged roaster, going to do 140 damage, but Griff able to not connect with that rush attack. Goof does a fine job of defending that. Both fighters are roughly 50% health at this point. However, another charged roaster going to help deplete that. You've got Goof really keeping his distance right now. Gets hit, though. Goof with the health advantage. 43 seconds left. Goof just kind of keeping his space and really doing a good job of keeping Griff at bay. That charged rush attack not going to help at all, as you see, disabling one of the arms, and that is critical, but not able to take advantage of it.
The fact that Griff was able to fight out of that is excellent. This guy is a top player. You can see his arm broke. Not only did he break the grab, he broke the second grab and got 100 damage off the punch.
Critical 130 damage, though, by Goof, and then Griff able to get the 140 on Goof right there. It's going to come down to one more punch if he can connect with Goof, but no, the rush attack blows through the Tri-Blast, and Griff with a well-timed rush attack able to blow through the offenses of Goof and take this critical round, as Griff just needs one more round to advance to the finals to take on Resolve.
He played that perfectly, playing around his rush, making sure that his win condition was known. He just did it absolutely perfectly. Griff has earned that last round and potentially earned himself a spot in the finals.
Goof with a fully charged rush meter ready to go and deployed any moment. Right now, though, Griff just keeping his distance. No, unable to block, and Goof able to connect for 3 10 damage, as both fighters are going with double roasters at this point. Goof deciding to not go with that Tri-Blast, and now at this point it essentially comes down to the skill of each player because everything's even.
Yeah, both these guys just throwing haymakers on this one. Huge arms coming out, 140 damage on the charge, 100 on the uncharged. As you guys see, they're just throwing out a billion punches. Griff has the rush on deck, but Goof is going to knock him down before he can use it.
You're absolutely right, a billion. I tallied every single one. Meanwhile, Griff connecting with the rush attack right there that's going to give him the advantage. Griff just a few connections away from moving to the finals. Goof, meanwhile, trying to stay alive, needs to really play sharp the final 40 seconds. Can't afford to make many more mistakes. And Goof, that'll certainly help connecting with that rush attack for 330 damage. Can Griff close this out? Oh, that nice little 1-2 for 150 damage. Goof and Griff coming down the last couple of slugs here, and it's going to be Griff with that charged roaster, sending Goof to the floor and advancing to the finals, as we're going to have Dr. Coil taking on most likely Springman as Resolve versus Griff.
Griff played that so well. If you notice there at the end, he just really had Goof's number. Every time that Goof tried to dodge to the left or evade to the right, the charged roaster was there to meet him every single time for 140 damage. That's just raw power you can't match.
It really is, and it came down to a couple of those charged connections because both of these fighters were so close in their health, and really it came down to who's going to be able to land that last hit towards the end of the match. And at that point, you're really struggling to figure out, okay, do I play defensive? Do I have to play offensive? Because there's not that much of a difference in health where you can just sit back and turtle the whole time.
Exactly.
However, if you are aggressive, you open yourself up.
Yeah, it totally changes your playstyle, puts you in a very uncomfortable position, especially with the rush differentials, where if your opponent has, 75% of a rush and you have maybe 10, you got to go on the offense, try to force something to happen, and Griff just played right into that.
Now, before we get to the finals here, you do have something in front of you. Now, everyone that participates in this ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals will not go away empty-handed. You see this just incredible artwork that they're going to get here, signed by the development team. So all of our competitors, plus our 4 alternates, will get that. Now, our champion, what will they be playing for? Well, what you've got here is something that is...
oh, baby.
Unbelievable right here.
Yeah.
How about this? You've got this signed by the development team as well, too. And, I just think the artwork for this game has been incredible. And if you get a chance to take home something like this and pin it up in the room or put it wherever you need to do, it's going to really be not only bragging rights, but just a memento of how you're able to overcome, outpunch, and outreach the rest of the competition.
Definitely. I just love the character designs. I mean, you could see all the characters on this artwork. You've got it signed by so many people on the development team. This is just an absolute treat for anybody that's going to take home the title.
And what's great is we've seen so many different characters in these finals, but let's get you set for the finals. Resolve versus Griff. Griff going as Dr. Coil, Resolve going as Springman, and how about this? Springman going with double roasters to take on Griff. Why are we seeing that?
I feel like we're seeing the meta change before our very eyes. We've got the double roaster coming out, but Griff actually changing on his own, coming out with the double nade, taking a page out of Max Brass's book. So what those are a little bit of a hybrid between something like a roaster or toaster and the Tri-Blast, where it's going to explode as soon as it makes contact.
And that explosion can certainly help you out. However, if you're up close, it might also be detrimental as well, too, as you see Resolve connect with that throw. Here comes Griff with that rush attack. But once again, Resolve, what has really helped ride him to the finals is his ability to block those rush attacks. He does the same thing there. Resolve right now bobbing and weaving, trying to avoid those explosions from the nade. Can't do it right there as Griff takes the early health advantage. Here comes 3 nades from the charged arm of Dr. Coil. But Resolve hanging in there, connects with the 100 damage, another 100 damage, has that rush attack ready to go, misses with the charged roasters at that point. Resolve with the health advantage and the rush attack ready. Dr. Coil disappearing, throwing double nades. Here comes another rush attack from Dr. Coil, but you ain't getting through Resolve right there. Resolve, here comes the rush attack from Resolve, perfectly timed. That sends Griff to the floor, just a couple punches away from defeat.
Tried to get the grab right there, was not able to make it connect, but this is just a slugfest with hits going back and forth. All Resolve needs is one more hit, charged or not. You can see him dancing around trying to deflect these punches, as finally the charged roaster will go through and Resolve takes round 1.
And what's incredible is you saw Resolve dash to the right, see the punch coming into his left, and throw an inside-out curving punch that just met Griff and Dr. Coil right in the mug, sent them to the canvas. Resolve takes the first round. Now, Griff going to go ahead and change things up here and going to go with a boomerang and a nade. And why do you think you see that change with a curved item?
I feel like he knows that he's got to create some distance and try to sit back a little bit. If he's able to throw that curved arm, he's able to get around the roaster and isn't challenging it directly. With the double nade, if he ever collided punches, it was going to explode right there, which just wasn't really conducive to his win condition.
Griff going with the Coolerang, as you can tell from the ice attribute when it connects with a charged hit, but then more damage right there. And how about that rush attack? And what you typically see from the boomerang element type arms is that they have such a huge hitbox on their rush attack when you see that tornado come.
Yeah, it just comes out. It's huge, and it puts you in a very bad position because you're going to take extra hits as Resolve comes out swinging on this one, 310 off the rush.
Just busted through your front door with that rush attack right there. That's going to be a nice early advantage right there for Resolve as he's still at 100% health, and Griff down to 50%, 15 seconds into this match, but that nade going to connect, send Resolve back. And that nade and Coolerang doing a fine job of keeping Resolve at bay, but as we said, Resolve got off to such a hot start, got the early advantage in this one. Griff down to about 40% health, although the 1-2 for 150 damage comes from Griff, and Griff has the rush attack ready to go. Griff looking for a chance, misses with the throw, but then able to counter with the rush attack as Resolve has an arm extended.
That was perfect timing from Griff. He was waiting for the perfect opportunity. Resolve didn't think he was going to let it go right there, but finally he does, as Griff is just one punch away from winning it. But again, we have to talk about the fully charged arms coming out from Resolve.
Double fully charged arms and the rush attack. Is it going to be enough to get Dr. Coil? No, it's coming down to one punch to take this first game in this final matchup here. Who's going to be the first one to connect? Can Resolve connect with the punch, or is it going to be Griff? They're down to just one more tap. Ooh! Resolve. Big time finish at the end. We saw Resolve go to the rush attack to bring himself even with Griff, and then from the distance able to connect once again with that left roaster. And whether it's a toaster or roaster, you gotta watch out for the left arm of Resolve.
Yeah, just he got hit right in the shin, and that was the knockout punch. I mean, Dr. Coil trying to maneuver around it. It looked like Griff had the answer, but Resolve is just, you can never count this guy out. If he's ever below 15% health, he's always going to have a chance at coming back.
And what's interesting is Dr. Coil and Griff are going to have the height advantage over Resolve the entire match, and the vertical advantage, as we mentioned. And now Griff once again changing up arms for the third straight round, and this time you're going to see the Kablammer matched up with the Scully. And why might you go this direction to counter the double roasters of Resolve?
I think he's got to figure something out that's just totally different. I think the Kablammer is pulled out so he can kind of bust through the roaster, as you can see right there. Yeah, I think he's picking this. He's got a light arm and a heavy arm right here. Also, that third charged arm that's coming out, if that is a Kablammer, obviously he can't control it because he doesn't know which one is going to come out. But if he gets that double Kablammer, it's going to put huge pressure on Resolve in the corner.
I run into the same problem with my third arm. I don't know what it does whenever. But you look at the fact that Griff is able to knock Resolve back right there, and Griff with the early advantage in this one. Resolve down to just 30% health at this point, has a rush attack ready to go. Resolve missing with the left 1-2. Resolve with the right, though. Griff, huge health advantage at this point. You have the chance to play a little bit more defensive and just wait for your opening. Resolve still waiting to use that rush attack, has those charged roasters at this point. Rush attack ready to go, but it looks like Resolve's going to keep that one in his back pocket because you can see that the writing's on the wall essentially for this round.
Exactly, yeah. He knew that this one was done. He just lets Griff get the rush of his own. He knew that one was over. Just excellent play from Griff. And good stuff, good discipline on Resolve's part to not try to force something to happen that he knew wasn't going to.
Resolve switching things up and going to go put a Tri-Blast in his right arm to try and take away some of the horizontal movement for Griff and Dr. Coil. Dr. Coil, meanwhile, sticking with that Scully and that Kablammer and already chipping away at Resolve. Both fighters have that rush attack ready to go, but critical Kablammer connection right there for Griff. Here comes the rush attack from Resolve, and that's going to connect and do 275 damage as Griff still hanging on to that rush attack. And Griff also trying to use that poison attribute of the Scully to kind of just chip away.
Yeah, if he could just get multiple hits of that, he's going to get a lot of damage coming out from the poison. He's going to get a little bit of damage off this rush, but nothing crazy, as Resolve even claps back right there with that Tri-Bolt.
Resolve with the early health advantage. 55 seconds left. Griff down to about 25% health. That's now down to 15. Resolve with the rush attack ready to go. So you better believe you're going to see that here soon. Resolve dancing left, right, trying to avoid some of those throws from Griff. Griff missing with the Kablammer and the Scully. Resolve just keeping his distance right now, blocking, not trying to expose himself too much. Resolve missing with that Tri-Blast, blocking the Kablammer, and here comes the rush attack, and that'll go ahead and tuck in Griff for that round. We're now at 1-1 on the round, and this is where it becomes a big-time round because if Resolve wins, he goes up 2-0, meaning Griff has to win 3 straight games. If Griff can get this victory, he makes it 1-1, and it's a whole new ball game.
Yeah, this is just totally critical. This might decide who's going to win the entire set. Momentum will be built from this win, as right now Griff just not looking too hot. He uses his rush, doesn't get anything out of it, and he evens up the rush counter on both sides.
Griff now going with a Coolerang and Scully, so no heavy arm for Griff at this point. Meanwhile, Resolve going to try and power through that with that Roaster and that Tri-Blast. Early on, right now, you've got Griff with the early advantage. Hasn't really taken much damage until that punch connects right there. And then you've got Resolve right now just dancing back and forth. Connects with one of our rare throws we've seen here in this match. Resolve dancing backwards, connects with the explosive Tri-Blast right there. Resolve with that powered up rush attack ready to go, just waiting to deploy that. And here comes Resolve, and that's going to not do anything because Griff is well prepared for that.
Yeah, he thought he saw the opportunity, thought he saw an opening, but unfortunately it was just not enough as Griff has a rush of his own. Resolve keeping his distance, trying to stay back. He doesn't care if he's in a bad position outside the ring. As long as he can do this, as long as he can block that rush, he's well set to go up 2-0 in a game.
Resolve, though, doing well, blocks the rush, has got a 75 to 50% health advantage with just 30 seconds left. So if you're Griff, you're going to have to start being a lot more aggressive here quickly. But the problem is your arms aren't going to be able to do that much damage as you've got that Scully that's quick but not very powerful. Meanwhile, Resolve with a rush attack. If he connects, that could turn the tide, but no! Misses on that one. Griff still has a chance, but Griff's going to have to really close the distance and put some pressure on Resolve here. Connects with that hit and has a rush attack ready to go. It's going to come down to Resolve's ability to avoid this incoming rush attack, which you know is coming. Able to do it. This one's going to be really close here. Oh, that last hit by Griff, though, will give Griff the victory due to the health advantage. How close was that when you look at the momentum over this final match?
Oh, just barely. He was able to make it happen. It didn't look like that was going to be the case, but Griff was able to slowly inch it back. And I was talking about the momentum there. That's so important because now Griff is up 1-1 instead of being down 0-2, and that's going to put him in a great position to keep that momentum rolling.
And that's what's huge because you look at any of these fighters, they'll tell you it's really hard to defeat anybody 3 straight games in a row, and that's what Griff was going to be staring at if he lost that, but able to connect with one more punch to break up the tie in health. And as we head to Bite and Bark's level, first time we've seen this, what's something they have to consider in this level?
Oh, I love Buster Beach. This is probably my favorite stage in the game, this and Mausoleum. So this stage is very unique in that it's got these weird pockets where you can get stuck in the corner, like something like Via Dolce, but on the whole, the stage is pretty wide and long, something like a DNA lab. So it really, I think this is going to benefit Resolve because he can get Griff in these compromising positions, forcing them into the corner, and then Griff has got to fight his way out just like this.
Griff going with double Scullies, trying to really inflict a lot of poison on Resolve. Meanwhile, Resolve sticking with that Tri-Blast and that Roaster, having no issues in this first round whatsoever. Still at nearly 100% health, connects with that throw right after the rush attack, and that's going to do a lot of damage against Griff. Griff really can't penetrate the offenses of Resolve right now, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, the fact that Resolve was so on point on that, getting a wake-up grab on somebody is very difficult in this game, especially a character like Dr. Coil, where she goes invisible on knockdown, so Resolve is just firing on all cylinders.
Not the way you want to wake up. You better set your alarm next time. Griff, meanwhile, just a couple punches away from defeat. Resolve, though, trying to get those punches, but you see that chip damage starting to come in from that multiple poison counter up to the counter of 3 right now, and that's going to slowly drain Resolve. And then here comes Dr. Coil connecting with the throw. Griff still has a rush attack ready to go. Could be an unbelievable comeback if Griff can play this well. Meanwhile, Resolve has to start thinking about being a little bit more aggressive if he wants to close the door on this. Griff just sitting back, avoiding damage, keeps ticking away damage with that poison as well, too. Keep an eye on Resolve now as those permanently charged arms. Griff, here comes the rush attack. Doesn't connect, though. Might not have enough time. Can Resolve just avoid getting hit? No! The throw from Griff. That might do it right there. Unbelievable. Griff, once again, at the very last second, connects on either a throw or hit to steal a round.
You can't keep this guy down. This guy is so slippery. Every time Resolve looks like it's a sure thing, Griff just slowly inches back. He's so sneaky. He's able to take that game just barely, and now he's up around. He might close this gap and make it 2-1.
You knew that the finals were going to be close. Resolve now going to double Roasters. Griff this time going back to the Coolerang and the Scully, even though he won with both Scullies last time. And here comes Resolve connecting with that rush attack, doing 270 damage. Griff right now hanging out about 75% health. Resolve at about 85% health. Still plenty of time left in this one. Resolve dancing back and forth, left and right, connects right there, knocks Dr. Coil and Griff down. But here comes Dr. Coil with that rush attack. Griff able to shrug that one off.
Yeah, just so close on that. The fact that Griff wasn't able to take too much damage from that. Really bodes well for him. But right now, Resolve getting a rush of his own very soon. It looks like he's got it on lock, but Griff keeping him at bay with that Scully.
Resolve with a rush attack ready to go, connects with the
Nice
throw,
grab.
and you know that's going to put Dr. Coil in a tough position, and Resolve trying to set up that rush attack, looking for an opening. If you're Dr. Coil, you have to be careful if you're Griff not to expose yourself too much. Another throw for Resolve, as it looks like we might be headed toward a third potential round, but no, Griff still has something to say about that with yet another throw, and this is where it seems like Griff shines, is when Griff is against the ropes.
Yeah, definitely. Griff just has an incredible clutch factor, as we've seen in these past few games. Now, both these guys have rush. 20 seconds left on the clock. I'm interested to see how they use it. Resolve, unfortunately, gets knocked out of it, and that might do it.
Oh, Griff right now with that charged rush attack. You know Griff's going to want to deploy that thing as this round gets. But no, the throw from Resolve gives Dr. Coil a taste of her own medicine for the second round. Says, listen, you got me last time. You're not going to get me again. Let me throw you to the canvas and take us to a third round.
That was a Hail Mary, if ever I've seen one. The guy threw the arms from all the way across the stage and just barely took that round. As we are in a round 3 situation, these guys need to take this pivotal second game.
And you look at the fact that Griff was almost able to close the door. That would have been huge, would have gone up 2-1, but now we're in a third round, and Griff going back to the double Scullys. Had success in the first round with that, just poking and jabbing and dodging and weaving. Meanwhile, Resolve going with those double roasters once again. Resolve with the rush attack charged up, ready to go. Dr. Coil charging up those Scullys, but here comes a rush attack, and that connects. Dr. Coil not able to retract those arms and get them up for defense in time. 300 damage for Resolve. Griff, meanwhile, trying to dodge and weave, get that rush meter ready to go. That throw gets negated by Resolve. Resolve charging up both of his roasters, going to miss right there. Those Scullys not able to penetrate the defenses at the moment.
So if you're Resolve, I think Resolve had the right play. He was sitting back. He was charging up his rush. He didn't force anything. Unfortunately, he did fall into the rush, into the grab. Also, Griff, like you said, man, as soon as he starts losing the life lead, he just fires back in a way that it's just incredible that we haven't seen all day.
Both fighters hanging on for their lives at this point right now. Right around 25% health with rush attack goes to Resolve. Resolve deploys it, and that connects. That's going to be huge to close things out. But if you don't tuck Griff in, he's going to stay awake and keep you up all night. Griff trying to stay. Ooh. Oh, and yet another invisible connection. The ghost punch, as I like to call. Resolve hits Dr. Coil, sends her to the canvas, and Resolve takes the 2-1 game lead. Resolve needs one more game to be our champion.
I don't want to keep making this joke, but you don't call him Resolve for nothing. The guy was looking down on his luck. It looked so rough for him there, but he's able to answer back. You're seeing him and Griff with this power struggle just back and forth. This is some of the best arms I've ever seen.
This is what you expect and want in the finals. Fighters going back and forth. It's coming down to the last couple of swings or throws to decide these rounds. It's 2-1. We're going to our fourth game in this final championship match in the U.S. and Canada Online Open for Arms here. So let's go ahead and see if these fighters are ready here in a moment. And you see, it's interesting because for Resolve, he's not necessarily changing his arms too often. Meanwhile, with Griff, frequently changing his arms. We saw him go to double Scullys. Then you've got the roaster and Scully. Then you've got the Coolerang and Scully as well, too. A lot of variance there.
Yeah, I think that really Resolve is just stuck to his guns on this one in terms of the roasters. He's got the toasters. He just wants those straight, kind of basic arms. Meanwhile, Griff, highly adaptable, always changing, always on the move.
Griff going with the Boomerang and Tri-Blast this time. Meanwhile, Resolve, double roasters once again. Let's go ahead and put you in the oven. You've got just the opening seconds of this match right now. Resolve getting knocked down a couple times, so Griff with the early advantage right now. And what are we seeing from Griff using that Boomerang and that Tri-Blast, a combination we haven't seen him use yet?
I think really what he's trying to do is catch Resolve in terms of his dodging. So Springman, one of his greatest attributes is when he dodges left to right, if he's able to charge up a little bit, he's able to deflect a punch. But if you use these curving arms or the horizontal arm, you can kind of catch him out of it. And I think that's where Griff is putting all of his chips on this one.
Griff right now with a rush meter ready to go. Resolve has one ready as well, so it's going to come down to who's going to deploy it first because they're both at essentially 65, 75% health. Griff, though, with the slight health advantage. Now it's a substantial one, 75 to 50. Both have their rush attacks still ready to go. Resolve missing with a couple of roasters. Nice little 1-2 charge combo by Griff right there. Griff still with the advantage. Now you wonder if Griff's going to sit on that rush attack, try and save it for a great start for the next round.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just going to let it rock, if he's going to hold on to it. This is very interesting because there's a huge life difference, but of course Resolve does have fully charged punches right now. I wonder if he's going to just kind of sit back, try to break the tubes for the future, because it does look like Griff is just content to just kind of sit behind them. I'm interested to see the strategy here.
Yeah, very good points right now, because you're seeing Griff just hide behind these DNA tubes, playing a little peekaboo with Resolve. Meanwhile, Resolve not taking out the DNA tubes. However, Griff taking out one, so not going to be as much cover to hide behind, and Griff getting the first KO in the first round right here. And what we saw from Griff was the ability to hit the 1-2 combos with that boomerang and Tri-Blast, really keep Resolve at bay.
Yeah, and when that Tri-Blast hits, it's a 1-2 punch of its own, because it hits the main hit and then it explodes, adding more damage. I think it's 130 after a charged hit. So we'll have to see if Resolve can make some adjustments on this next one. Griff took that last game just totally cleanly.
Resolve going with a Roaster and Tri-Blast. Griff, well, it worked last time. Let's go ahead and go with that boomerang and Tri-Blast this time. Both fighters, once again, a charged rush attack here. Neither one being ready to deploy it, and Griff, once again, using that DNA tube for cover. Resolve can't quite get around it because you know Resolve's arms aren't capable of curling around as much as the boomerang for Griff.
Yeah, and I think that's really going to be what makes him struggle here. It does look like Resolve is trying to sit back behind a DNA tube to try to use that defensive play, but it's just not working. Griff changing his arms has done wonders for him here.
Griff connecting with yet another charged Tri-Blast. Both fighters still haven't used that rush attack. I think the fewest amount of rush attacks we've seen in any match so far. You've got Resolve, though. He's going to use it at some point, you figure. Meanwhile, Griff dodging. Oh, gets connected with that throw as Resolve tosses him. And now Resolve still with the health disadvantage with 30 seconds left. Let's see if Resolve can connect with a couple punches. Meanwhile, Griff playing a great defensive game.
Yeah, I think Resolve is good to go to time on this one. We've got 20 seconds left. Resolve still with over half his health. Griff with much more than that. These guys are playing this one very slow, not trying to force any decisions, but Resolve has him in the corner. He has the rush. He breaks the tube. He's trying to force this situation, and there it is. He lets it rip with 10 seconds left. Almost 300 damage.
Resolve, unbelievable turnaround right now. Can Griff get enough done? Griff has a rush attack. Here comes a rush attack from Griff, but no, Resolve blocks it. Oh, it's going to be close. I think it's going to be Resolve.
It's Springman, yeah.
Resolve by a coil of his spring has enough health to get the victory due to time. Okay, this could be the championship round if you're Resolve. If you're Griff, you get this victory. You force a 5th game in our finals here. So let's see if Griff can play that same defensive game with none of the DNA tubes up in the stage.
Exactly. No tubes are left. There's no hiding anymore. These guys are right up in each other's faces. Resolve versus Griff. Resolve trying to take home this championship.
Resolve, though, with the early deficit as Griff continues to keep Resolve at bay. And Griff, having no problems with Resolve in this round right now, has essentially a 50% lead in the health. And Griff has that rush attack ready to go. Let's see if Resolve can connect. Yes, Resolve connects with a nice little 1-2 combo with that Roaster and Tri-Blast. Griff, though, still with a sizable lead. Resolve with his rush attack ready to go. And at this point, if you're Resolve, you have to play much more aggressive knowing you've got the health disadvantage.
Absolutely. I think it's on him to kind of force this situation and to rush him down. He has the rush. I think that's sort of why he's playing a little bit back, especially because that Tri-Blast does make you, kind of play on your back foot a little bit because of the explosion. He's trying to make his way in, trying to get this rush. He finally lets it go, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Griff just doing such a fine job defensively, keeping his distance, keeping Resolve at bay, blocking those incoming punches right now, and also countering with that boomerang to the left-hand side. Not able to connect with that rush attack. Resolve, though, closing the gap. And you've got to be careful now if you're Griff, because Resolve looking to try and put some pressure on you in the corner.
And look at the rush meters. Resolve is so close to having one of his own. 20 seconds left. Griff is not going to have enough time to just run away and try to stop this from happening. He has to get his arms out there to get rush of his own.
Resolve, though, getting hit with a charged boomerang, and Resolve now. Here comes those permanently charged arms and the rush attack. Just a sliver of health. You got to use it now if you're Resolve, but if you're Griff and Dr. Coil, you're expecting it. You're just going to block. Oh, here comes the throw.
But he doesn't have time.
And that is a very interesting strategy right there, because if you're Griff, you understand the only thing that can defeat you with 6 seconds left is the combination involving the rush attack. You know that a throw won't defeat you. You'll still have the health advantage, and also the fact that throw is going to use up some precious seconds.
Exactly, and I think Resolve made the realization a millisecond too late, because all he had to do, if he used the throw and then waited for the get up and then used the rush, I think he might have been able to do it, but unfortunately used the throw a little bit too late. He was off by a second.
And you see the unbelievable strategy, and it's fitting that these players are so matched up well enough. We go to our 5th and final game of this championship final round. in the ARMS US and Canada Online Open Finals. Let's go ahead and get you set for that. You've got Griff versus Resolve, Springman versus Dr. Coil. As a reminder, Resolve playing a Springman, Dr. Coil being controlled by Griff. We're going to head to the scrapyard here, so some more pillars for protection. However, you're going to have some vertical ground here that Springman can use to get on the same level. Springman going with double nades this time.
Yeah, we're seeing a huge switch in the arms right here. We've got Griff using the same ones that got him here so far, but the double nade, I'm interested to see how this comes out. Really, in terms of the toaster and the roaster, they're pretty similar, just variations in how much you can curve them, but the nade is pretty different, and we're seeing a lot of the explosive attribute on these arms in the finals.
And I'm curious, what forces Resolve to change to the double nades? What do you think he saw in the last match?
I think it's the pressure that the explosion puts on the opponent. So we saw Griff with the Tri-Blast able to keep Resolve at bay. You're seeing it. He has to hold block for longer. He can't just dash in after a block. And I think Resolve is trying to do that to Griff as well.
Both fighters with their rush attack ready to go at this point. Right around 75% health for both of them. 50 seconds left in this final deciding game to find out our ARMS US and Canada Online Open champion. You've got Griff right now with the lead, 75% health to about 55 for Resolve. And here comes the throw from Resolve. That's going to do 150 damage. Misses the throw from Griff. Almost connected the explosion of Griff, saving him there.
Yeah, that 130 damage coming out from that Tri-Blast was so pivotal from Griff. Right now, these guys almost dead even in health. They both have rushes, but again, like you were saying, these guys are content to hold on to it.
Unbelievable matchup between these two. It's going down to the final couple of slugs in every single round. Here comes the rush attack from Griff. Not able to connect right there with the boomerang and the Tri-Blast. Resolve has double nades. You know he's going to deploy it at this point. Yes, connects. One of the rare connections we've seen with our rush attacks. That means Resolve has the advantage. 3 seconds left. Now you can just sort of stay at bay and not expose yourself. But no, Resolve being aggressive, maybe playing with fire down the stretch there.
Hey, we've seen him lose rounds like that before, but right there it worked out for him as he takes what might be the penultimate round here.
Here's the situation. If Resolve wins this round, Resolve is your ARMS US and Canada Online Open champion. If Griff can win this, he forces a third and pivotal deciding round to find out who our champion is. Early one, both of them have taken a couple hits. Surprise, surprise, pretty even. 85 seconds left. Both fighters, no rush meter yet, but it's pretty full. Up, Griff goes ahead and fills him up. Meanwhile, you've got Springman, controlled by Resolve, doing a great job of using the higher ground to stay in the same vertical plane as Griff.
Yeah, definitely. As you see Griff getting that rush right there, 370 damage. He's definitely got some fight left in him. Meanwhile, Resolve has almost half of his health. He does have the rush, but he's not making anything happen. If he doesn't force anything to happen, Griff is going to get another rush of his own.
And you figure Resolve might hang on to that rush attack if he can't cause a little bit more damage right now, because you're down to just a couple more punches, and Griff has got a healthy life bar right now. So you figure Resolve might hang on to that and just have the early advantage going into the next round. Resolve keeping his distance, Griff trying to keep him at bay, knowing that he can either just wait him out or doesn't have to expose himself.
Yeah.
He can just kind of sit back, block, and then counter when Resolve tries to throw that throw.
Look at these punches. Oh my goodness, Coil has to be very careful. His arms were so close to breaking there. Resolve had a good rhythm. Griff had no way out of that.
Resolve, though, still might be too little too late as Griff goes ahead and connects with that Tri-Blast. Would you have it any other way? Game 3, our 5th game, our 3rd round. Whoever wins this wins it all, folks. Hang on to your seats right now. Griff versus Resolve for the US and Canada ARMS Open Online Championship. 90 seconds left. Early advantage to this one to Resolve. Both fighters have their rush attack.
I mean, you got to add also, this is Springman against Dr. Coil. This is everything that ARMS is about, as both these guys with their rushes trying to make something happen. They want to find the right opportunity, but there's so much on the line. If you miss that rush, you could get second here.
We didn't script this, folks. We promise you. 70 seconds left. Both fighters, plenty of life left, so you know this one's going to come down to maybe who has the most health left. Both fighters with their rush attack. Do you expose yourself? How aggressive are you when you know that the artwork is at stake here? Resolve connecting with the rush attack. That's going to probably turn the tide. Resolve with the lead right now, but Griff still has his rush attack ready to go. Griff closing the gap. Can't connect with that, though. That's going to be huge as Resolve still has about a 25% lead in health. 45 seconds left. Resolve missing with that nade. Griff missing with that throw. Couple of nade misses as well, too. They're so good defensively, but Griff with the 150 damage, this is when Griff has to turn up the temperature.
Yeah, Griff is not out of it yet. We've seen him come back from the jaws of defeat so many times. He's throwing out this Tri-Blast. Resolve is in the corner, but Resolve doing such a good job of avoiding, but he does get hit by that wind.
folks. They're essentially equal on health with 23 seconds left. Resolve has the rush attack ready to go. Griff has a rush attack ready to go. It's going to come down to the final couple seconds of this one right now. Resolve trying to penetrate the defenses of Griff. Griff doing a fine job blocking. Here comes the rush attack, but no, Resolve can't connect. Here comes Griff. Griff has a rush attack ready to go. Can Griff connect?
They both miss.
Griff can't connect. They both
Look
miss.
at the health.
The health is so similar. 2 seconds left. Can anyone get one more punch?
Who wins?
Let's see who wins. It's a draw! It's a draw. Unbelievable. We kid you not. The final deciding game for the championship came down to a timed out draw, which means we're going to go and do an extra round here, folks. I hope you like bonus arms because this punching bag still has some stuffing left in it. And, I mean, you can't script it.
That was
any better
insane.
than that.
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely incredible play from both these guys. These guys are operating on the absolute brink of top play.
Unbelievable. Resolve with the early advantage in this extra round. Whoever wins this one takes home all the marbles here. Nice little combination right there. Resolve, though, at a disadvantage as Griff able to connect with another Tri-Blast, and Griff with that rush attack ready to go. Resolve got one waiting in his pocket as well, too. Resolve missing with the throw. That could have been an opportunity for Griff. Here comes Griff with the rush attack. Resolve blocks that one. They're both once again at similar health. Oh, Resolve connecting with that charged roaster to do 140 damage, but Griff countering, and here comes the rush attack. Once again defended. These players unbelievable right now at their defense and being able to make sure that they don't get exposed.
Yeah, I think both of them realize how important it is to use it, and I think the fact that neither of them want to use it right away makes it so telegraphed, that makes it so easy for them to block. Right now, Dr. Coyle with hurt arms, Resolve trying to keep this pressure up, but Griff is just not relenting.
Griff has the disadvantage right now. Resolve is your leader when it comes to health, but here comes Griff missing with the rush attack once again. 25 seconds left. Resolve looks like he's got the advantage as we head down the home stretch. Rush attack ready to go. Able to counter the Tri-Blast coming through. Blocking that Tri-Blast. Here comes the rush attack. No, can't penetrate the defenses right there. Griff going to have to really find something magical here. Griff down to a couple more punches. Resolve trying to claim the championship. Just needs to hit a couple more times. Griff's not going silently in the night, and that'll do it. Resolve. How fitting that he connects with another left-handed punch to close out this unbelievable championship match between Resolve and Griff. And Resolve is your champion of the ARMS US and Canada Online Open. Talking about reaching for the stars right there.
Yeah, that was just insane play that we saw from those guys. It did look like Griff had an opportunity there at the end, but unfortunately, he just didn't have the rush. If he had the rush, he might have been able to force that comeback if he got a throw into the rush, but it just did not happen. Resolve playing his cards perfectly, and that is why he's your champion.
I can kid you not. You can look through all of our notes right here. Nothing here said make the final championship match go to the final game with an extra round after a timed out draw. So you talk about just the dramatic finish and how evenly matched these characters were. You certainly got your entertainment value for this one here. And I think I go back to the fact that, once again, those players were so evenly matched. We look at Griff and Resolve. They were both blocking the rush attacks. I think that final extra round, nobody connected on a rush attack. It came down to just being able to do some of those subtle counters. We're able to connect with some of those non-charged punches. They're not exciting, but hey, it's what adds up over the course of a round.
Well, really what it came down to was, in all the other rounds, really, whoever connected more rushes was in a much better place in terms of winning. So in the final round, what you see is both these guys holding onto their rushes. They're like, well, I'm not going to let it go, because if I miss it, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. So when they did use it, it was sort of telegraphed, and whoever had more pressure was able to make it happen. And Resolve, he just seemed to be the guy.
And as you look back at the tournament bracket, you saw the initial upset earlier on from Pineapple going over Gore Magala, who many people thought was going to be the favorite in this one. But Resolve with Springman working his way through. We saw Griff really use great usage of the abilities of Dr. Coyle, and Griff really switching up arms based upon who he was facing. Meanwhile, Resolve just sticking to his methods and sticking to his fundamentals and able to outlast Griff in one of the most exciting championships I've ever seen.
Yeah, and you saw that he did change up his arms a little bit, but really they were all just straight punches, right? He had the toaster, he had the roaster, and he had the nade. He sort of used on the chakram a little bit, but the guy was just absolutely fundamentally just totally sound. And fun fact, the guy's a lightweight boxer in real life, so he knows his stuff.
Maybe that certainly came in handy. Well, once again, congratulations to Resolve, our champion for our ARMS US and Canada Online Open, and thank you for all of you that joined us this afternoon. We certainly had a great time. Coney, wonderful job, and also a big thank you to all of our production folks that helped make everything look so good. From all of us here, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.